Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
Are they a threat to democracy? Yes. Are they going to take our rights away? Yes. Are they going to put people's lives in danger? Yes. Are they going to endanger the planet by not dealing with climate change? Yes.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
She's a genuine danger to American security.
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
We have to preserve our democracy, or speak out against lies and hate.
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Have a consistent narrative about how dangerous Trump is.
President Biden has been clear-eyed about the threat that the former president represents to our democracy.
Donald Trump is an existential threat to our democracy and our most fundamental freedoms.
Kamala needs to stop saying that President Trump is a threat to democracy. It's now being received by some unhinged people as a call to action. Enough is enough.
And now we can add a new name to the list. It ain't just Ryan Ruth. It ain't just the guy who took the shot in Butler, PA, that very nearly took out the president of the United States. Were it not for the most miraculous head turn in human history. But now there's but yesterday, as some of you, as most of you already know, there was a new attempt on President Donald Trump's life at the White House Correspondents' Dinner of all places. And we're going to be talking about that a lot more in this first hour of Apostate Radio, episode 52. I'm Isaiah. Hope everybody's having a great Sunday. Hope everybody's been doing well. Of course, I am joined as ever by my road dog, my brother, Mr. Nino Sabio. What's good, bro?
Isaiah, how you doing, brother?
I'm all right, man.
Looks like we got a hot tamale today for the show.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying. I actually prepared for how hot this show was going to be by getting Indian food for dinner.
Oof. There we go.
It's going to be that hot. It's going to be a very, very interesting show for you all. If you're in here, if you're already, I see Joker is in. Joker of 937 is in the building. Thank you, brother, for your constant support. He made quite a song earlier this evening. Well, no, he made it yesterday, and he shared it with me earlier, and it's actually pretty good. Might even get into it a little bit. He's talking like Isaiah's going to shit flames after eating that. Maybe. Okay. No, matter of fact, real quick, and of course, JB, bro, locked and loaded, prime time. Love you, little dude.
What's up, JB?
Boy. Great to see you, man.
What's up, Joker?
I hope you're having a great weekend. I made a mistake earlier, just kind of unrelated. Yeah, I'm staying away from canola oil. I'm staying completely away from, like, you know how certain things, like certain things that you eat just like inflame you, and I'm staying away from like canola oil messed me and Karine up a little bit this afternoon, so I'm staying away from that. Just,
okay, all right,
yeah, something unrelated, but just some small talk. Anyways, you know what it is, folks. You can follow us at, you know what? I need to change that because that's no longer your, should have worked on that a little bit. Should have changed that. Here we go. Let's do that right. Here we go. All right. Nino Sabio X and Isaiah L. Carter on X. So you can follow us individually. Of course, our show page is Apostate Radio NY on X. You can, if you wish to give us money, and we could use a bit of it for whatever purposes. We're trying to grow this. We're trying to grow this show as best as we can. Buymeacoffee.com/Apostate Radio. And Apostate Radio merch is now available on realtimeinc.com/collections/Apostate Radio. Man, I will. Matter of fact, some collapse. Yeah, canola oil is poison. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I felt it immediately. It was horrible. It made you like. I had made some French fries, and it just like completely. I felt inflamed after eating it. I started feeling achy. It's really bad. But anyways, let's get to this because we got a big show. We've got a couple of returning guests and one new one. We got the Finest Unfiltered fam joining us tonight. It is a special show. We are first joined. I'll give a big warm welcome first off to Lieutenant John Macari returning back to the show. What's going on, sir?
What's up, brother? Happy to be back, man. Thanks for having me, man. It's a pleasure.
Thanks for coming. Yeah, thanks for coming back, man.
Thanks for coming back, Johnny.
How many cruisers can you bench press now?
No, I think I'm getting weak in my old age, bro. I can only bench 3 plates now, so I gotta.
Oh no!
I gotta, I'm thinking about hitting the GH or the peptides, get it up to 4. I don't know.
Yeah, I need to actually do the same thing, dude. Oh boy, yeah.
You gotta get on the juice, man. Get on that juice.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm scared of
That's what
it.
I do.
I don't know. I'll just age gracefully.
I take a needle every day to the ass, man.
Yeah,
you can tell. Look at it.
Oh my
doing
God.
it for 10 years now. 10 years. My raisins shrunk.
Jesus Christ.
My raisins.
And the second half of the Finest Unfiltered, coming to us from literally parts unknown, is Eric Dim.
Big Eric, man.
The second half of the Finest Unfiltered. What's good, man? I believe
better half, man.
Better half. Yeah, there you go.
No, I'm not benching 3 plates. I'm good, brother.
Okay. Eric, you wait a minute. Now, JB said, John, we got to work out together. Listen, JB, Jordan bigger than me. Jordan a big boy. I met him back in February. We went to DC United's home opener down there in the nation's capital. That dude is huge. That's a big youngin right there. I'm not even joking.
That means you got to call him tiny.
Oh yeah, yeah. But no, he's a good dude. He's a very good dude. And Eric, this is your first time here on the show. So just real quick. Well, hold on. Before you get to that, our last but certainly not least, a great friend of ours, great friend of mine, a beautiful lady coming to us from parts unknown, Lattina Brown, your favorite community advocate.
Absolutely.
And if she's not your favorite after tonight's show, well, then I can't fucking help you. So, how are you, my dear?
I'm good. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Great to see
you. Good evening, Lattina.
Good evening.
John and Lattina, thank y'all for coming back. We really appreciate it. Eric, since this is your first time on the show, we do have a custom here where first time guests have to introduce themselves. We're gonna give them about a minute or two to introduce yourselves to our fledgling of viewership. So if you would please take it away, the floor is yours, brother.
Hey, listen, man. Thank you so much for having me here. I appreciate it. Eric Dim, I've been coined as the most complained cop from the NYPD, retired lieutenant as of 2022. Myself and John Macari, we co-host the Finest Unfiltered. The network has grown almost 200,000 subscribers. I see some here in the chat, friends and listeners. Man, we love you. We love the trolls. We love conversations. I always say opposition meets opportunity. I'm so glad to be here today. Being coined as the most complained cop in the NYPD has really put me front and center to talk about many issues that affect policing. Right? Politics has infected and injected policing. So I'm glad to be here. I've taken that road to embrace it rather than use it as something that steps on me, but rather to step over it. So I really appreciate being here. We have had a hell of opportunity. I mean, I've been on the road for almost 4 years, traveling by RV, including about a year traveling through Asia, backpacking. I know John benches like 4 damn plates. I've been busy competing in MMA, jiu-jitsu, boxing. That's always been my thing. So it's a pleasure to be here. I know Lattina well, good people. Isaiah, you and Nino, thank you so much for having me here. It's a great platform. And thank you to all the members of the NYPD of what you do out there, the boots on the ground, and we'll hold the leadership responsible to make sure that they treat you and give you what you deserve. So, Isaiah, I appreciate it. Being coined as the most complaint cop. If you have an opportunity, take a look on the internet. Coined as the most complaint cop, arresting some of the most violent perpetrators in the South Bronx and the rest of parts of New York City. So thank you for having me here today. It's a pleasure. And let's get the show going.
Absolutely. So you're a lieutenant. So you're a retired lieutenant also.
Yeah, lieutenant. I made it to lieutenant special assignment. I was actually on the captain's list, denied promotion because of my civilian complaints. I never had an opportunity to face them as I wasn't awarded or afforded an opportunity for due process. But with that being said, it's actually a blessing. We've been able to create a network. We've actually been able to help cops in a much more different facet and make the connection that we're making right now. We grew an entire network through this, not only New York City, but this entire nation. So meeting people like Lattina and yourselves, Isaiah, Nino, and of course, John. John's been the glue of the Finest Unfiltered. So, we really catapulted into something bigger. And the mission has been to help law enforcement and bring masculinity back to it. So thank you. We appreciate it.
Hell yeah. We're going to talk about that a little bit about in the second hour. Oh my God. No, because I have something that I want to talk to you about, a situation that happened at the very infamous subway station, Delancey Street, Essex Street. I thought it was very, very and something to talk about in the second hour. But right now, boy, oh boy, we have a lot to get to, and I guess I'll get started with the first thing here, which is let me see. Is this no? That's not the right one. That's not the right one. Hold on a second. That is not the right one. Yeah, that's not it. Hold on. Bear with me 1 second here. It's live radio. Live. The issues of live streaming. So last night, the president of the another attempt on the president of the United States. Donald Trump, once again, another foiled attempt. I'm sick of this shit. I'm absolutely sick of this. I am tired of the latest clown to go after this president is it was a guy by the name of Cole Allen. Cole Allen was from Torrance, California. He is somebody without any criminal record. Okay, I'm pulling it up right now. He was a ghost, but as the story has been coming out, is that he took he traveled from Los Angeles to Chicago and then to DC. He then he stayed at the hotel where the White House Correspondents' Dinner was taking place, and made the decision to bum rush the front gate. There's heavy security, not much on the outside, but he basically he tried to rush into the place where the White House dinner was taking place. I guess John, we'll start with you. When did you start hearing about this, and what was your initial reaction to it?
No, I mean, instantly, I was shocked to hear. I was like, I can't believe again. And I was actually at a concert last night, and I had belted it out pretty early, and people were like, what the hell are you saying? And then all these people I didn't know started coming over, and I was like, yeah, that's what I'm hearing. And I'm glad we were glad to hear immediately that the perp was apprehended, the perpetrator was apprehended. We heard about that one of the officers was shot. I believe now it's by friendly fire. I don't know if it's been officially confirmed at that point. But it's just something that's been happening frequently. And again, being in law enforcement and having done security, I can't believe that people are able to get this close to the president of the United States. Again, it's just another highlight in incompetence and failure. And I don't blame the boots on the ground. I don't blame the Secret Service agents or the Capitol Police that are on the ground, but there are serious deficiencies in the planning of doing security for President Trump, and they need to be addressed and fixed like yesterday. They need to be addressed, identify, and fixed yesterday, because clearly there are people who want to kill our president. And I don't care if the president, you agree with him, you don't agree with him. It doesn't matter to me. If the president's a Democrat, there is no way that anyone should be able to kill the United States of American president. That is it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Latina.
I was shocked. I wasn't surprised, but I was shocked that someone would have the balls to go into an event where there's like a whole bunch of White House officials, including the president, and you have Secret Service there. I mean, this just goes to show that the left is very unhinged. The left will stop at nothing to make sure that our president is, harmed. And that's, not good. And we have the far left politicians, they're literally they're encouraging violence. I saw something that Mary Trump, she's like an estranged family member of the president, commented and said that the shooting, the attempted assassination, was staged. To me, that's just goes to show the level of evil that these people, they are. They're not trying to, work together. They have one-sided views. They're clashing with the conservatives, and I'm very concerned about what's going to happen with President Trump going forward. Somebody dropped the ball. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was a little sloppy, but kudos to law enforcement for acting accordingly. But my question is that how did this guy get in? Who was in charge of making sure that, the guests are who they claim to be? Who was making sure that, these people were vetted? Somebody's gonna get fired. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's just how I see it. I just think it was just too open. There was no reason for that to happen. And it was just overall messy.
Yeah. Eric?
Brother, let's talk about this. Numerous flashpoints right here, right? So first of all, as my partner said here, I agree. Not here to knock the boots on the ground. The boots on the ground did a good job. Their response was fantastic, right? They got Vance out of there. They jumped on Trump. They did their job. They secured the area. They secured that perimeter. Kudos to them for that. But in this business, in law enforcement, with almost 20 years experience, and same thing for John, we don't celebrate outcomes. Because if we celebrate outcomes, we're missing all the preventative measures that got us to that point. What we need to do is analyze, how do we get to the point that someone actually breaches all the rings and layers to get to a president? How does the suspect or subject in question, or this particular perpetrator, actually stay in the same location as the protectee? So there's numerous rings and layers that were bypassed. And that's where the ultimate problem here is the security issues that we're having that are breached because of failed leadership. And that's where the failure is on this profession, not just in New York City, but this entire country. The failure is on the leadership that we've gotten to this point. And because the boots on the ground did their job as they're supposed to. They raced in, they did it. But as I said before, in this business, we don't celebrate outcomes. We need to analyze, how do we get to this point? How does someone actually, and I think you said it, Nino, got on the train, right? Someone gets on the train, navigated all these particular areas to get there. And listen, we're talking about a hotel. A hotel is a soft target, yes. But it's the job of the Secret Service to make sure that they put all the layers in place so that it becomes a hard target. Ultimate failure. I give this an epic fail.
So I think, and you guys probably are aware of this, but I think he actually was staying at the hotel for a while, and he booked the hotel, I'm assuming like last year or something, because it gets booked very quickly for White House Correspondents' Dinner. So that gives him extra access right through the building facility. Because I'm a guest, I have a place here, but shouldn't there be some sort of Especially if there's like, I mean, they should be on top of this. I feel like shouldn't there be some sort of like looking deeper into who's staying there? I mean, I guess he had no record, so maybe it's hard to say, but maybe look at his social media. But there's already somebody there that's booked for months. Maybe you're like, this isn't. They're not a member of the press. They're not a member. They're not some sort of politician or something like that. Maybe we should look into like this list of people as the as Secret Service or FBI or whoever would be doing this. What do you think that they guys, Eric, John, what do you think that they really fell short specifically? If you were running the show, what do you think they should have been doing?
Well, absolutely. So first of all, we do a lot. I'm speaking for the NYPD. There's a larger background for recruits going to the police academy than I think there was a thorough background in finding out who's residing at that hotel, right? I mean, because we're talking about a vulnerable location. A hotel is a soft target. The president's already been a target 3 times. We're talking about the 4th time here. So there has to be a more thorough process of each person that's a guest there or anyone that has access, a much more thorough process. So I think this is an epic fail. And there are numerous systems out there to actually determine if someone has had any indication. I find it hard to believe in the digital era, and especially social media, that there's no footprint or fingerprint of him making some type of indication of being a wacko. Let's call it just a complete wacko. So yeah, I think it's an epic fail.
Funny you say that, because we actually have. I actually have his. I don't know why I'm saying so much. I have his manifesto here. His manifesto. It's crazy as to how much about this guy was able to come out. And I think that's like spectacular. The shooter, and I refused to. His name was Cole something. I can't remember his
Allen.
First,
Cole Allen.
Allen. Okay, thank you, Cole Allen. So and once you we'll get a little bit more into this guy. I am not one of these people. Real quick, I am not one of these types who thinks that, oh, well, we shouldn't talk about the shooter. We shouldn't give him the notoriety he was looking for. Fuck that. Fuck that. Because here's the thing. If, and I mean if, this guy had been successful in taking out the president, they would have celebrated him the same way that these weirdos in Brooklyn celebrate Luigi Mangione for taking out the United Healthcare CEO.
Or Charlie Kirk's assassin.
They celebrated
that.
Thank you. They celebrated Charlie Kirk's assassination.
Are they celebrated, or they joked about? I wish they would have got Trump.
They're still,
next time, don't miss.
Bro, they're still doing it.
No, I'm sure they're still doing it. Of course.
You should see. Honestly, you should take a look at some of the shit that that's out here where they're like, oh my god, another one missed. Like, where are they gonna finally fucking get him? Yo, it's insane.
Bloodthirsty, man. Yeah, the far left.
These are bloodthirsty people, and here's an example of it. Here's an example of it. This is Cole Allen's manifesto, and I'll read it aloud. I'm going to read the whole thing. Hello, everybody. So I may not. He had his pronouns in his fucking email signature. So him. There we go.
I'm out fascist hunting.
Right, exactly. We're hunting fascists out here. I came all the way from Los Angeles to DC to do it. So I may have given a lot of people a surprise today. Let me start off by apologizing to everyone whose trust I abused. I apologize to my parents for saying I had an interview without specifying it was for Most Wanted. Oh I apologize to my colleagues and students for saying I had a personal emergency. By the time anyone reads this, I probably most certainly do need to go to the ER, but I can hardly call that a self-inflicted status. I apologize to all of the people I traveled next to, all of the workers who handled my luggage, and the non-targeted people at the hotel who I put in danger simply by being near.
Oh, what a good guy.
You're fucking best.
What a sweet man.
I apologize to everyone who was abused and or murdered before this, to all those who suffered before I was able to attempt this, to all who may still suffer after, regardless of my success or failure. I don't expect forgiveness, but if I could have seen any other way to get this close, I would have taken it. Again, my sincere apologies on why I did any of this. I am a citizen of the United States of America. What my representatives do reflects on me. And I am no longer willing to permit a PDF file of our arpist and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes.
Oh, Lord.
To coat my hands with his... What the fuck? Well, to be completely honest, I was no longer willing a long time ago, but this is the first real opportunity I've had to do something about it.
Oh, goodness. All right.
Well,
I still going?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No.
Good Lord. What an asshole.
While I'm discussing this, I'll also go over my expected rules of engagement. Oh, fuck. And please don't tell me he had sovereign citizen tendencies. Probably in a terrible format, but I'm not military, so too bad. Administration officials, not including Mr. Patel. That is a very, very key thing. I want y'all to pay attention to that.
That's very interesting, but
very, very, very key that he left cash out of this. They are targets prioritized from highest ranking to lowest. Secret Service. They are targets only if necessary and to be incapacitated non-lethally if possible. This fucker had knives and several guns on him. Non-lethally? AKA, I hope they're wearing body armor because center mass with shotguns messes up people who aren't.
Wow. Must be a gun expert.
Yeah, I know, right? Hotel security, not targets if at all possible, aka unless they shoot at me. Capitol Police, same as hotel security. National Guard, same as hotel security. Hotel employees, not targets at all. Yes, not targets at all. What the fuck even is this?
This is the worst. This is the worst manifesto I've ever fucking seen in my life.
Same.
This is lame as fuck.
In order to minimize casualties, I will also be using buckshot rather than slugs. Less penetration through walls. And I would know all about penetration, wouldn't I? I would still go through most everyone
about butt penetration
to get to the target that were absolutely necessary on the basis that most people chose to attend a speech by a PDF file, an arpist, and a traitor, and are thus complicit. But I really hope it doesn't come to that.
Oh, man.
My gosh.
Well, at least he wrote himself. He didn't have AI do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Who knows?
This guy's fucking deranged.
That's pretty
narcissistic.
And what's so crazy is this guy had no criminal record, very highly educated. This guy graduated from Caltech. Like, we're talking about a guy who was very clearly a ghost. Very clearly, he had no, like, but if anything, how much of this is what people hear on MSNBC, CNN, all of they read it in the New York Times, they read it in the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post, LA Times, this fucker came from California. How much of this, and this is the next round robin question for all y'all. How much of this is the fault of the corporate media?
Oh my God, the whole thing, dude. The whole thing. They've radicalized a whole base of people. The news media, and like, look, the right is guilty of this as well, but not to the point of where we're seeing right-wing extremists coming out. But from the left wing, the hate against Trump, I mean, they've radicalized. I mean, God only knows how many people just like this, college graduate, master's degree, a degree in engineering, a master's in computer science, the least person that you would expect, right? Like, the guy goes on, he talks crap online on social media, doesn't mean he's going to do anything, has no criminal profile whatsoever. I think the whole thing is the fault of social media. Excuse me.
Go ahead.
And social media. Yeah.
Go ahead, Latino, whoever. This is open discussion.
No, I'm going to agree with John on this. Like, the far left media plays a role in how they report their news, and I see 9 times out of 10 it's been a lot of false information, misinformation, and it's been a lot of like, you know, them trying to encourage these far lefty groups to keep doing what they're doing. Like, even after President Trump has been exonerated from the Epstein files, they still continue to push this narrative out there, accusing the president of, you know, being inappropriate and, you know, doing things to children. I mean, it's like you can't win with the left. And I have to say this, on the right, the far right wing, you have influencers, people like the Nick Fuentes and the Candace Owens and all of them. They're just as bad because they're also, you know, passing misinformation. They're also attacking the president. They're no different. So you have the far left and you have the far right. They're spreading so much misinformation to our young Americans. We're talking about the Gen Z who is absorbing everything. They're learning from these people. Like, when will it all stop? The right and the left, no different.
Well, I would just go ahead, Eric.
No, I just want to say, as far as corporate media, I mean, we talk about this all the time in the network, and I want to piggyback on Lattina and John. I agree. I think it's both sides at this point. So I often say mainstream media, to me, has become religion. Like, there's no responsibility and accountability anymore on journalism. If you listen to some of the journalists out there, they don't say they're journalists anymore. They say they're entertainers, so that they're not held accountable, because to me, it's become religion. If you believe in one religion, you listen to Fox. If you believe in another religion, you listen to CNN. But at this point, we don't even know what's truthful anymore. It's almost what you believe. And there's the responsibility on them. And that's why it's outlets like this, you know, and the Finest Unfiltered, where we're giving the truth, where it's actually people on the ground, boots on the ground, real people. And I think a lot of this information is manufactured. And I really think we need to hold these fake journalists accountable. That's ultimately where I see the problem.
But see, it's hard for me to, like, because I watch Fox a little bit. I don't watch it. Like, I stay away from corporate media mostly. But I really, really have to disagree that it's all, because first of the Nick Fuenteses and the who else? The Candace Owens and all of the ones on the so-called woke right, they sound like leftists.
Yeah.
They all sound like leftists. These are people who essentially posed as right-leaning, but then eventually, just like Tucker Carlson, that's the biggest disappointment to me. Like, with Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, all these other ones, they pretended to be right-wing enough, and then as soon as they got, you know, to comfortable enough, they just went right back to who they were. And by comfortable, yes, exactly. The comfortable is money. Comfortable is money. And it's so crazy because as far as the woke right is concerned, it's so crazy how all these people who, and I know we're going to get to this in a second, but like, as soon as the Southern Poverty Law Center it caught that 11-count indictment, all them motherfuckers end up going over to Italy for some reason, going to Rome for some reason.
I know you said you disagree, but I think in the end we actually agree. I mean, John and I had a conversation the other day. We speak often, right, about the network, but we were talking about religion, and I said, you know, I never saw a broke rabbi, and we just talking about the Catholic religion. Maybe it was this morning, John. We talking about the Catholic religion. We talking about Orthodox, talking about Jewish, and I said I never saw a broke rabbi, right? And I think it's kind of like the same thing. And I think that when I said that, you know, both sides have their own religion, but in the end they meet in the middle, and the middle is exactly what Lattina said. It's the money. I think that's where they all meet. I think it's the same thing for religion. That's kind of like why I use that analogy.
Right, but what I'm saying is these, like, my argument when it comes to Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and Nick Fuentes and stuff like that, especially Nick Fuentes, is that they were never right wing. No. They were never right wing. They were never conservatives.
No.
Not even once. And that's what I'm saying. It's like no conservative. If you want to know who a true conservative is, talk to with larger platforms. Talk to Steven Crowder. Talk to Steven Crowder. Talk to I'd even argue, and I know some people are pissed at him, but I'd even argue that Benny Johnson is a conservative. Got his ticks. I know that some people aren't a fan of his right now, but he's been mostly consistent. But what's that? Yeah, I mean, but the point is right. But the point is, Benny, like the guys that talk about Steven Crowder, you will never see him sounding like Nick Fuentes. I've never seen that out of him, and he's got a gigantic platform. Tim Pool is another one, big, gigantic platform, and sometimes he'll sound like a conservative, but then sometimes he sounds almost like he agrees with Nick Fuentes.
No, you know what, Isaiah, you're right, but you know what they all have in common? They all use President Trump's name to make it to the top.
Yes.
That's just the bottom line.
And they claim to be right wing. Most of those people, they do.
Exactly.
More or less. Yeah. But I think that to go back to what I think it was John was saying, we got the they've been calling Trump like Hitler, the media, the mainstream media, corporate media, also Hollywood, musicians, famous musicians, social people on social media. They call him Trump Hitler and a fascist for about 11 years now at least. And then exaggerating anything that happens. That's it's genocide. If you're removing illegal aliens, all these different things like that. And of course, it's not just lying, but not an exaggeration, but they also lie by omission, right? Like on CNN and MSNBC, they don't tell you the reasons why they do some of the things and the background stories behind things and all the good things that Trump's doing and all the really crazy, terrible, bad things the left does. They don't talk about that whatsoever at all.
No,
at all,
not at all.
Like it's just constantly on CNN. It's constantly, and I know Trump does stupid shit sometimes. A lot of things I disagree with, but it's constantly on CNN. How can we make this look like Trump is ruining the country at every single thing that happens, or it's his fault all the time, all day long, 24/7? And MSNBC is even more, hysterical. And plenty of other media outlets are like that as well. The only one that we know of is like Fox News, and I guess Newsmax maybe is a new one. News Nation's is definitely a little bit more moderate. But that radicalizes even like boomers, Gen X, and some older millennials who watch corporate media, and then of course you got TikTok and social media, Twitch and whoever radicalizing the kids, and universities of course who've been doing it for generations. And then you get to this point where you had like that opening scene where the people read this and they're like and watch this all day long and they're like, this is me being a hero. I got to get rid of Hitler. I got to kill Hitler. That's them in their minds. I assume really believe they are the heroes in this story. And a lot of people agree. A lot of people agree with them in this country, sadly.
Dude, the manifesto we just read, that was so much of that main character syndrome you just talked about, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never in my life, they literally believe that they are on some type of quest to fight evil.
Delusional too. That was a really weird manifesto. It's very delusional, very narcissistic, very self-important, going in all these details and stuff that weren't even it's just very uninteresting, honestly, manifesto. Yeah. It was hard to even say. He barely talked about why he was doing it. I think he gave one little vague sentence.
Dude, but think about how powerful the media is, dude. You know what I mean? And empowering these characters. Just go back to COVID, man. Go back to COVID. You had people that thought they were saving the world. They thought they were knights by telling you to put your mask on. Put your mask on. They were ready to kill you, dude, for not wearing a mask.
You got people who are still wearing masks.
And I'm and where'd that come from? It came from the media. It didn't come from their own head. We just infected this. And so the media is very powerful brainwashing tool, dude. It really totally is. That we're not paying attention enough. We're not paying attention enough to that. I mean, if you want to see what happened psychologically to people, I mean, there's still people that are completely broken from the media propaganda during COVID. There's still people that refuse to breathe actual air.
John,
and so you easily send somebody into go after a president or a politician or any of us just sitting here, or right-wing conservatives, whatever.
John, listen, there are people, I don't know if I've told this story before, but there is someone who I know whose face I have not seen. I mean this. Whose face I have not seen in 7 years.
Walk around like freaking Sub-Zero or Scorpion.
The last time I saw this woman,
I like a fucking like a ninja.
What was that character from Batman? That's what they look like.
Yes.
What was that?
Yes.
Oh, who was it? Who was it?
That's how she walks around, bro. She walks around just like that. It's
Tom
like,
Hardy. Who did he play? What was that?
Oh, Bane. Yeah.
Of course. Of course.
You know, that's why, gentlemen, that's why I say that I believe it's like religion. Because my own mother, who's an intelligent person, I speak to my own mother and we'll talk about things. And of course, I have conversations. I'm on the road. I'm like, hey, what's up? And she'll tell me something she saw on the news. And I'm like, you really believe that shit? She's like, but they said on the news. Like, so she grew up, talk about baby boomers. She grew up in the era, like, if they said on the news, it has to be legit. It has to be true.
Yeah, it has to be.
Because there was once responsibility in the journalist. And that's why these journalists have to be held accountable. And what they do to get around it, they say they're entertainers. Yeah,
it is. You're right, Eric. It is like a religion because it's a lot of people just aren't religious anymore. They lost their spirituality. They don't go to church anymore. Yeah. So this is like the new morality and tribalism. Like this is how they make sense of their lives. Like this gives them meaning in their life in a way. It's like, well, I'm fighting against fascism. I'm fighting against Hitler. And then, on the right, you have like, I'm fighting against communism. But the thing about that is there is actual communists in office, as you guys know damn well, as in New York City, like the mayor is an open communist. I guess he doesn't say that anymore. But he talks about seizing the means of production and all that. Mayor Mamdani. And there's plenty of other people like him who are basically communists, and they're constrained by the Constitution and state constitutions, but they would be doing a lot more communist shit if they could. There's some real truth to that. But anyways, this is how people, to get back to the point, this is how people on both sides, define their life, meaning in their lives in a lot of ways, and it's gotten so bad that it divides families. Right, it ends friendships, close friendships. Oh, yeah, man. So you're absolutely right, Eric. It's kind of replaced religion. That's not good. That's not a good place to be as a country when politics, where people are totally misinformed because they're in algorithmic bubbles or media bubbles. So they don't know the other side of the story, and sometimes they're being lied to all the time,
and they don't want to know.
They're definitely missing a big part of the story and a big part of what's going on. And that's really it's subversion and demoralization, as I talk about every week on here, that Yuri Bezmenov was talking about. I think it's been fueled by foreign influence for decades and the universities, and now the ball's just been rolling since the 60s with leftist indoctrination, especially.
Oh, no, I agree with you, Nino. You're right.
Yeah. It's a really big problem.
And also the thing is, guys, this also comes from this doesn't just come from the media. This comes from the politicians also.
Oh, they're terrible.
Because check this out. Right after the Democrat Party machine in the Commonwealth of Virginia,
the CIA asset
rigged. The day that they thought that they got their Hydra of power. Oh my God! Yeah, no. I'll show the map. I'll show you the map. It's a Hydra. Like they literally went Hail Hydra when they were designing that map.
Hail Hydra.
Like Robbie Starbucks out there. I'm like, I want to y'all need, ladies and gentlemen, you really need to see this. You need to understand this. Robbie Starbucks, shout to him. He comes out. He posted this a little earlier. He said, "This is Democrat Hakeem Jeffries." 4 days before a Democrat assassin, and yes, it is important to call him that, a Democrat assassin tried to kill the entire Trump administration. Hakeem is the leader for all Democrats in the House of Representatives. His message to Democrats was maximum warfare everywhere, all the time.
Jeez, imagine if Trump did that, man.
Warfare everywhere, all the time. I am not exaggerating, folks, when I tell you the Democrat Party machine, they are no longer human. These people are no longer human. I do not regard them as American anymore. I don't. Because we have the First Amendment. We have the Constitution of the United States. These people would easily subvert and cancel. They would subvert and nullify the Constitution any way they possibly can. They already tried to. They tried to already. This is not new. But I think and maybe one of you can correct me if I'm wrong here. The matter of fact, I want to show this. I want to show this because you've had some people that have openly that have said, "Oh, it's fake."
Yeah,
the assassination attempt was fake. These are the same fucking people who would have celebrated if the attack had been successful. Okay, like, folks, understand this. Had Cole Allen succeeded in this, they would have celebrated. They all would have. Anybody telling you
a lot of people would have, yeah.
Fake, they would have been popping champagne instead of smashing it in their fucking bag like they did. But anyways, so now that didn't work. Okay, now that the whole, that this notion of it was staged didn't work. Here's the latest canard that they're trying to use. Okay, David Axelrod. Fuck David Axelrod in advance. Okay, here's the official statement announcing plans for a brand new White House ballroom last July. Not one word about the need for it due to security. Last night, the president of the United States and his acolytes immediately seized on the White House Correspondents Association attack to justify his dream project.
Oh my God, who gives a shit? He's built.
It's a pretty good project now, right? You could actually have security.
It totally makes sense, but like he was going to do it anyways. He's going to do it anyways.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like,
I'm not talking to you, John. I'm talking about in general. It's like as Axelrod said this.
Yeah.
It's like
yes, Obama's right hand.
Yeah, it's a great point that Trump and the administration are making. Is like, hey, it'd be a lot more secure. We'd have to do this at the fucking Hilton, where we have like random guests there. But but on top of that, it's like the fact that's all they could glom onto is like, oh, he's gonna do he's talking about his ballroom. It's like the ballroom's gonna happen anyways. They're already building it. Shut the fuck up.
They
just tried to kill the president and the cabinet. Like, fuck you. Shut up.
I like to argue that he actually did. In my mind, he did succeed because that's something we often talk about. We talked about this, and I think the best comparison, and that's why John and I got a lot of heat for our take on the bomb deployment at Gracie Mansion. In my opinion, he succeeded because I believe in this business and law enforcement, we don't measure success on how fast we react. I think we measure, did someone ever actually have a chance on assassinating a president? And he got pretty close. He had a chance. So, in my opinion, on a law enforcement level, he succeeded. He just he didn't actually get to the last point, but he managed to get close enough. That's where the failure is.
And then the other thing is like, and you know where everyone comes out and they're like, it's fake, because the incompetence is insane, dude. Like the fact that they were even able to breach those layers to get to the Secret Service, is insane. And if you listen to what he said, he says, like, the one thing I immediately noticed walking into the hotel is the sense of arrogance. I walk in with multiple weapons and not a single person there considers the possibility I could be a threat. The security at the event is all outside, focused on the protesters and current arrivals, because apparently no one thought about what happens if someone checks in the day before. Like, this level of incompetence is insane. And I very sincerely hope it is corrected by the time this country actually gets competent leadership again. So, like, even he's saying that, like, where the F is the security? Like, somebody should stop me. I'm walking in here with guns. Somebody's going to apprehend me. And no 100%. One does. And that creates all the, it's fake, it's staged, it's this, it's that. How did someone get on the train? How did they not run background checks on the guests? It's like, I don't care if you booked the hotel the day prior that day or 4 years ago. It doesn't really matter. There should have been background checks and threat assessments on everyone in that hotel that day. And the fact that there wasn't, incompetence leads to all of these theories, right? It leads to people, even people that traditionally support the president will be like running these theories. Oh, that was a, whatever type of theory, there'll just be a million theories running wild. Like, how did someone get that close?
Yeah, because it's hard to believe. You would think, right? I mean, John and I both have, nearly 20 years experience of peace on the street. I did special operations, so did John. So we know what it is to have perimeters. We know what it is to have secure locations, done search warrants. John's done the same. And we talk about often choke points and locations that you have to make sure there's rings of layers of protection. So even a common sense person is saying, Dan, how did he get so close to the president? He's saying it to himself, right? He pressure tested the situation, and even he's shocked to himself. Like, how did I actually get this far? He's so confident in saying it, like, wow, I thought I would get stopped myself. He didn't think he'd actually make it himself. He probably thought, I can make that manifesto, but I'll never get to that point anyway. So I think he shocked himself.
He probably did. At least, I mean, that's. I mean, I'd have to see what else he says. What else is said after?
I'm surprised they don't set up like metal detectors like the airport for like events like that.
IDs. That's what
like at the doorway.
Dude, they do. Like that's what I don't know. That's the thing is like that should have been there. That 100% should have been there. Those threat assessments should have been done on all the guests. And clearly somebody dropped the ball. And again, I'm not sitting here and blaming the guys on the ground. I'm saying the planning for this was a systemic failure. Right. And when those failures aren't identified and then publicly released and people aren't fired as a result of it, that makes conspiracy theories run wild.
Yeah. Now, the president has responded because he went right to he did an interview with CBS News' Nora O'Donnell. Okay. And this was one of his responses. I got two of them I want to play. I think this was pretty good. He's in this first clip, the president's actually Nora O'Donnell's reading the president's is reading this guy's manifesto. So here we go.
The so-called manifesto is a stunning thing to read, Mr. President. He appears to reference a motive in it. He writes this quote, administration officials, they are targets. And he also wrote this, I am no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people. Horrible people. Yeah, I did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me. I'm not a pedophile. You read that crap from some sick person. I got associated with all stuff that has nothing to do with me. I was totally exonerated. Your friends on the other side of the plate are the ones that were involved with, let's say, Epstein or other things. But I said to myself, I'll do this interview and I read the manifesto. He's a sick person, but you should be ashamed of yourself reading that because I'm not any of those things.
Mr. President,
and I was never,
excuse me.
You shouldn't be reading that on 60 Minutes. You're a disgrace. But go ahead. Let's finish the interview.
The other thing that he wrote in the
God damn.
Good for him. Good for the president. He was exonerated and they're still dragging him. Good for the president. Call her out.
Man.
Oh, that was
Trump was funny. Trump was funny.
He's the most gangster president ever, man. You're a disgrace.
I'm sorry. Like he's the
dude.
best.
I just want to say, he's
the best.
A couple of weeks ago, I watched him in I think it was a White House press conference, and he goes right before he talks to CNN. He goes, CNN fake news. Go ahead. He just throws in the fake news like it's like part of their name. Like CNN fake news. Go ahead.
Man.
Yeah,
I was dying.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But here's another clip from
somebody should have pulled her out of there. Man down.
Bro.
Also at the dinner last night.
Damn match. Yeah, best ever do it. Bret Hart, like full Bret Hart energy, you know what I mean?
Was your secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. His sister, Carrie Kennedy, was there. They've both witnessed their father and their uncle be assassinated.
That's right.
Erica Kirk was there. The House Majority Leader, Steve Scalise, was there.
Yeah.
Political violence has touched so many people in that room. Is there something that you as president can do? What can be done to change the trajectory?
Well,
give me a fucking break.
Are you kidding me? She's part of the problem.
She is part of the problem. She's absolutely part of the problem.
Is she blaming the victim right now?
Yeah, she's blaming the victim. You would think, bro, for all of the years that leftists spent telling people to never blame the victim and believe all women and the Me Too's and all of this, the second that they're in the wrong on something, they go and engage in the very thing that they were condemning. Please tell me y'all notice this.
This is like telling the woman that got raped, hey, could you have worn a different outfit? Maybe you couldn't have dressed as sexy. That's basically what it's saying. Could you do something different so people don't want to kill you?
No, totally.
Your dress has been a couple inches below the knee.
Yeah.
Crazy.
If you just left the borders open, man. Leave the borders open. Every other country.
What does he say to this? What did he say to her?
Oh, well, here we go. Oh, no, here we go.
Roll the tape.
You go back 20 years, 40 years, 100 years, 200 years, 500 years. It's always been there. People are assassinated. People are injured. People are hurt. And I'm not sure that there's any more now than there was. I do think that the hate speech of the Democrats, much more so, is very dangerous. I really think it's very dangerous for the country.
And there it is.
He's right about that.
He's absolutely right about that.
Yeah.
The Democrats, listen, the Democrats got Charlie Kirk killed.
Yeah.
He right now is the biggest scalp, so to speak, on the Democrats' wall. And honestly, in a lot of respects, I feel like the assassination of Charlie Kirk was probably a little bit more important to the Democrat process, to the Democrat agenda, because Trump will be gone in a couple of years. Trump's going to be gone. But Charlie influenced the youth.
Yeah.
Charlie was going to talk to people. He was talking to young people at the indoctrination stations, at the universities and the colleges.
And he did it very gracefully too.
He did it gracefully. But don't get me wrong. When he talked about who wanted him gone, he was very, very like serious about that. But let's be clear. He knew, but when you get rid of a Charlie Kirk, I would argue, was the last person on the right that was willing to talk to the Democrats like they had any sense, like there was something there, right? That could be turned back to the light. They ain't got that no more. I'm sorry. Like you have people who are trying, but I know one thing. I'm not interested in it, because when I'm interested as an anti-communist, as somebody who came from the Democrat Party machine, I want them shut down. I want the whole thing gone. I want them out. I want the whole party dismantled. I want everybody fucking RICO'd from, if it were possible, I would even RICO the colleges and the universities. Because the Democrat Party is that big of a mafia organization.
That is true. And I think that what are the parents doing to hold the public schools and the teachers accountable? Because they're literally walking into the schools and recruiting the children and poisoning their minds about conservatives, about religion, about our president. And these kids are just soaking it up. I think that parents should also start, becoming rebellious and removing their children out of these public schools. The public education system needs to be shut down, period. I feel like it is been weaponized against our youth. It's being weaponized against our parents. And these kids are so warped. Their brains are so warped. They start to become little future Marxist communists. And to me, I don't think it's right.
Their training.
Maybe we need to start putting our kids into private schools or homeschooling our children. But these teachers that's coming in, like that guy, Alan, what's his name? Alan Coleman, Cole Allen.
Yeah.
God bless his heart. The guy's a psychopath, and he was a teacher. Can you imagine what he was teaching those kids?
I know.
Parents need to start paying attention to what's going on in their child's education. Like I had a situation with my daughter. She came to me and told me that she didn't feel comfortable that her teacher was bashing the president, the current president. The teacher happens to be a Kamala Harris supporter because I went to parent night and I saw the picture that she had of Kamala Harris in the classroom.
Jesus.
And like some of the kids felt uncomfortable. My daughter was one of them. And she was like, well, we're here to learn. Why are you teaching us about telling us that the president is bad? That's not what you're supposed to be telling us. You're
Lattina.
supposed to teach us so we can learn something and use it in the future.
And how do you think that teachers like that will treat a student that shows some conservative or right-leaning views, or even moderate views half the time? Or writes an essay that's slightly like, hey, did you think about this point of view from the traditional or conservative point of view? That kid's probably gonna get an F. He's gonna be ostracized by the teacher because they're so emotional and radical. They forgot that you're supposed to let kids think things through and let them and give them an A if they wrote a good essay, regardless whether you agree with it or not. They're the type of people who will oftentimes be like, nah, this is like a fascist essay. It's an F. Like, and now we got to like ridicule you in front of the class or ostracize you or see what your parents are doing to indoctrinate you and treat the parents like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they are now. It's really terrible.
Real quick though, Lattina, I'm very curious about this. What color hair is this teacher, and how many nose piercings did this particular K-Hive member have?
What were the pronouns?
What were the pronouns? Right.
Well, believe it or not, she's an older African-American woman. She has...
Even worse. Even worse. Go ahead, sorry.
She didn't have the colorful hair. I met her. She was a little odd. But we've had conversations, and when my daughter shared with me what was going on, I did have some words with the teacher. I'm like, listen, I'm that mom that's involved. Do not brainwash my child. Respect the commander-in-chief that's in the White House, because if it gets to that point, I said, I'm gonna put you on the news.
There you go.
And respect more than half the country too.
Yeah. And respect the children, because not all children feel that way. They're like, listen, I come here to learn. I want to be able to become a successful person when I graduate from high school. You know, don't do that to these children. Like, give them a chance. Let them think freely on their own. Don't put it in their minds. And then you want to try to use it against them. Another teacher, I need you all to write about Bad Bunny. My daughter was like, who is this person? What? My daughter don't know who a Bad Bunny is, or who these, artists
That's
are.
their hero now. That's a Democrat hero now. Bad Bunny.
But
that was their big W. Was the Super Bowl halftime. That was like their big W for the last year and a half.
I did like that he had Ric Flair in one of his videos. So.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did.
Woo!
Woo! Yeah. He's got Ric Flair. It's actually a pretty good song, but he's got Ric Flair. It's pretty cool.
I'm for that, man. I love the nature boy.
The reason why, but you know what though, I'm gonna just be honest with you. The biggest reason why I hate the Democrat Party, and yes, I do hate the Democrat Party, and I hate leftists. Okay, I do not mince words. I hate leftists. The reason why I hate, one of the biggest reasons why I hate them is because they declared war a long time ago on heterosexual men.
That is true.
They declared war on heterosexual They have declared war on heterosexual men of color, if you want to use that phrase. They have declared. I'll never forget in 2017 when I saw that headline in The Root that said, straight black men are the white people of black people.
I saw that.
That is a real headline. I'll pull up the image.
Somebody went to like $100,000 worth of debt just to come out and get a job writing headlines like that.
Bro, that was a USAID money.
Those Freemasons must be real upset by that comment.
But I guess the question I want to ask is, Eric, are straight black men as a white man yourself, are straight black men the white people of black people to you, sir?
What? Man, where do I go with this one? No, there is, but it's unfortunate. There is a template that black people are supposed to follow, especially the Democratic Party. That's why I have a problem. Right? On our network, Marlon, who's on our network, who's black, he gets so much hate and trolls for hanging out with two white guys, and he's not playing the role that he's supposed to play. He's not black enough. He's not playing the Democratic role. He's not playing victim. He has been a success in his life. He's supposed to be a failure. This is the part that people don't understand. Think about that. The Democratic Party expects the black man to be a failure. And I think the reason why they hate masculinity and they hate the heterosexual male is because you pass on the gene. And they don't want them to pass on the gene. They're trying to kill the black man. That's the problem. I think we actually love black people. Right? I actually love my black friends where they want black people. They want to hold them down. They don't want the black man to have a wife. They don't want him to pass on the gene. So that's why they want to hold him down.
Absolutely. Shout to Marlon, by the way. Shout to Marlon.
They hate.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I was going to say they hate masculinity, dude. It doesn't matter what color you are. You're a Hispanic. You're not a person of color anymore. You're a Hispanic male, and you're masculine. You raise your kids. You're a terrible person. I mean, sometimes I just read Zeke Arkham's comments because just to watch all the hate he gets just for being a conservative law enforcement.
Oh my God!
Like, it's insane, man. It is the insanest thing I ever read in my life, and ultimately, it all stems down to masculinity. They hate it because masculinity will stop a communist takeover in this country. It will keep the Constitution as the law of the land in the United States, and it will keep this country free. And that's why they hate it. So they want to strip it away. They want to demonize it. They want to make it a bad thing. They want the schools to beat it out of you. And they want these boys to act like women so that they'll roll over and be apathetic and just, what do you want me to do? Yeah, I'll do whatever you tell me, Daddy.
Yeah, and men tend to be masculine. Men tend to be the ones that pass down like the traditions of, why do we believe the things we do? Why is our country the way we are? Why, like, this is what you have to be to be a man. You defend your country. You're patriotic. All that, right? You should be grateful for all the great things your country's providing for you, the safety, the opportunities. Honestly, the country works really well in many ways. If you think about how things miraculously come together, unless you live in New York City under Mamdani, then things might not work so well sometimes. But, but you know what I mean. So, like, but these are kind of things that
that guy's an asshole, by the way.
Yeah, we're gonna get into Mamdani. But men. I mean, women in their own way do it as well. But men, provide an inoculation to like this kind of like John said, to like this communist thinking of like being ungrateful and hating your country and thinking everything's better everywhere else, and hating success and hating striving, and just being resentful bitches. Honestly, it's really just resentful, jealous bitches. Honestly, and that's what real masculinity is supposed to be across the board, no matter what race you are, no matter what culture you are. Like, I think that's across the board in every country. Like, that's a big part of masculinity. It's like, hey, stop being a bitch, stop complaining, and just and keep fighting, keep persevering, and things will start working out for you.
So I think the irony is they talk about keeping the black family together, right? And yet they're trying to suppress black men from going out there being a straight heterosexual male. So if they're not going to be straight heterosexual males, who are black women going to date? They're dating white men. So the whole thing is just
they want them to be
paradox to it.
They want them to be lesbians.
They do.
Yes, that's true. They do.
Like if you want,
they said they want to dismantle the nuclear family. On BLM's website.
Yep.
Yeah.
Abolish the nuclear family. It's like a big goal for these Maoist communists that dominate so much of our country.
Bro, if you go there, listen, the template for what they want to do to black men, go to Atlanta, Georgia. Go to Atlanta, Georgia. They all like this motherfucker right here. They all like Billy.
Is that more of a thing in Atlanta?
Oh my God!
Dressing on men in dresses.
Oh my God! Yes, bro.
Really? Wow.
The last time I went to Atlanta was back in 2010. Okay, and I was down there for when I was selling cars. I went there for an Audi for like an event for Audi, and the stuff I saw down there, boy, oof. But no bullshit. Like Billy Porter is the template for how the Democrat Party loves they black men.
I never understood why they celebrate that so much. Like over the years, like just men in dresses is like always such a it's like, oh my God, he's so brave, and like you see him on magazines and like the Democrats and the left and like the women especially are like, oh my God, he's like he's such a vibe or whatever stupid shit they say. And it's like, why is it so impressive to put on a dress? I don't for a man, I don't get it. I mean, it shouldn't be really impressive for anybody to put on a dress. Like, you look good, you look good. I put on a suit. I don't expect anybody to be impressed by the fact that I put on a fucking suit. You think I look good? Cool. It's not a big accomplishment. I'm wearing a suit.
Well, the thing is, like, I don't
get it.
I've never understood it. I think it's really, really fucked up what they do, because the crazy part is, and I'll just say this before we get into our next thing. The Democrat Party has absolutely no use for black men unless they are gay or dead.
That is
cynical.
Repeat that. There's a lot of truth to that. Sadly, that's very cynical.
The Democrat Party machine. I am saying this as someone who was a Democrat from 2009 until 2021. The Democrat Party has no use for black or Hispanic men unless they are gay or dead. When think of all of the progress that Democrats made from Trayvon Martin up until now. What's the difference? What is the common denominator at the growth that the Democrat Party enjoyed during that time? And no, I'm not talking about it. I'm not talking about just Barack Obama being president during that time. They openly sacrificed black men to advance their agenda. Trayvon Martin was the first. Who else is next?
Michael Brown, Eric Garner.
Eric Garner. Okay. George Floyd.
You go one after another.
George Floyd. Every single black man, when they were trying to push the whole thing about police brutality down the throats of Americans, and they succeeded. When every other day you were people were inundated with another unarmed black man. Another unarmed black man shot by the police. It was almost day after day after day after day. Now they can't do that anymore. And now what's ended up happening, because a lot more black men are onto it. I've never seen as many black conservative men actually become content creators. Shout to Damani Felder, shout to Zeke Arkham, and shout to many, many others.
Shout to Isaiah Carter.
Thank you.
My man right there.
I'm only, you know what? Listen, it's only by the grace of God.
I'm a company man. You're good.
But as more and more, dead serious, as more and more black men come to
Adam B. Coleman.
Right. An absolute superstar. Shout to Adam, one of my best friends on this fucking planet. I love you, brother. As more heterosexual black men realize what's going on, they get stuck with this motherfucker. They get stuck with him.
Oh my God!
That's Billy Porter. That's from last year. Kissing it. That's exactly the posture.
Kissing the hand of Joe Biden, for people who aren't seeing this.
Hand of Joe Biden,
who said that if you don't vote for him, you ain't black.
You ain't black. Man, Doug Emhoff just looking like he about to pull his own dick out. Like, what the fuck is like seriously? that is the posture that the Democrat Party machine wants black men in, and I'm glad to see that that things are changing. Let's get to our next segment.
Imagine if Trump said that if you don't vote for him, you just aren't the race that you are anymore. You aren't the ethnicity that you are anymore. Like the how bananas is that? And he said that to Charlemagne.
They would drag him. Nonstop.
I'm the one that determines whether you're black or not.
I just want to see it.
What'd you say, John?
You should do it to stir him up and be like, "Wow, Joe Biden said it."
Right. And what's crazy to me What's absolutely crazy to me is this guy who is supposed to be the absolute worst racist, misogynist, like you can't go 2 minutes without somebody talking about how bad Trump is, how racist he is, and how he's got to be stopped. And you got black folk out here just going, "Oh, I don't understand how you could vote for him." Like, what are you talking about? How can you know how racist he is? They go off on that stuff, and it's just it's like y'all will sit up and let these people. You had, if y'all remember earlier this year, you had white leftists calling ICE agents house niggas.
Oh yeah. I saw that video. Oh,
in Minnesota.
My God.
In Minnesota, you had that.
And she was bold. She was bold to say that to a black man just because he's an ICE agent. I saw that video. I think Arkham posted about it too. And they were like calling Zeke all types of names because he was defending the ICE agent. But I have to say, in all my years, I've never experienced racism from the right. I've experienced more racism from the left. I've been called every name out the book. And they really came after me when I left the Democratic Party in 2021, around that time, because I was exposing everything that they were doing, because I worked behind the scenes. I worked in government. I've seen everything that they were doing, how they feel about the Black and Hispanic community, the things that they were doing. It disgusts me. So, they've been more harsh to me. And then when I publicly endorsed President Trump, it was game over. They were calling me every name. Every purple hair freak came out on the internet and just insulted me, called me every name, talked about my family. It was just disgusting. I've lost friends because, I support the conservative movement. I embrace it. I value family. I value God. I value my country. And guys, stop beating up on the white masculine men. I'm so sick of it. They keep attacking white men. What the fuck? That's what I see coming from the left. Y'all just keep beating up on them. Leave the white, straight, masculine men alone.
You leave them straight honkies alone.
Leave them alone. That's all I see on the internet coming from the politicians.
No, for real though. For real.
Nino. No, I think your brother right here in the comments, Phil New York K fan, he's got it right. Straight man who provides for and protects his family keeps them out of the clutches of government dependence.
Amen.
100%.
Amen.
100%.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. And someone else, just to scroll back up here, masculinity is all good, all well and good, but don't forget it doesn't work without traditional old school moms, no matter what color you're.
Totally. Yo, nobody here is talking shit about moms, man.
Homeschool. Look, I was homeschooled. I was homeschooled. My mom homeschooled me and my 4 brothers. I only had 1 year where I went to outside school. My brothers were homeschooled all their lives. There was no way. There was absolutely no way that they.
I homeschool my kids. Listen, if you're fortunate enough, I don't want my kids to have that turmoil to fight between the values of home and school, and they spend more time at school. So homeschool. Exactly. I mean, if you can, listen. Some people just can't. I get it. They're working. They just don't. They can't. But if you can, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. I mean, listen. It was the late great Vodi Balcom who said you can't keep sending your children to Roman schools and then be surprised when they come back as Romans. Like that was, oh my God. Like I mean, he's currently at home with the Lord. He passed away sometime last year, Vodi Balcom, but man, that was necessary. But now we can talk about local stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Apostate Radio episode 52. My favorite number. We are coming to you live from wherever. We're on X, we're on Rumble, we're on YouTube. Please, if you haven't already, share the show with your friends and everybody that you know. You can follow us on all the socials. We are there. And so you guys, Eric and John, you guys have were police officers for a combined 40 years. Eric, just out of curiosity, real quick, before I ask this question, where are you? Like, what borough of New York are you from originally?
I lived in all 4 boroughs. I grew up mostly in Brooklyn, Staten Island, and but as an adult, I lived in the Bronx almost a decade. I lived in Queens a long time. I lived in Brooklyn as a kid, mostly Staten Island, like John. The only borough I never lived in was Manhattan.
When you said really 4 boroughs, when you said 4 boroughs, were you excluding Manhattan?
That's the only borough I didn't live in.
Okay.
I lived in, like I said, I had a Puerto Rican girl dragged me to the Bronx. I was there almost a decade. I was a lieutenant in the South Bronx almost a decade. I love the Bronx, by the way. I love every borough's got their own flavor. But I skipped Manhattan.
Listen, a Bronx girl, a Jamaican girl dragged me to the Bronx last year, and you see what happened, right?
Yeah.
Yo,
I love each borough. They got their own.
Karine dragged me out of Brooklyn. I was living in Brooklyn for 5 years, and she dragged me out of there. It was like, come on, you know. She got me.
I know a lot about black people. I grew up in Staten Island. I lived mostly in Stapleton, and that was all black neighborhood. So
Stapleton, oh my God, yeah.
So I know a lot about black.
That's Wu-Tang territory, man.
Oh yeah. Maybe.
Who is that? Ghostface, Raekwon? Who's over there?
I was a
Method
big
Man
basketball player when I was a kid, so that neighborhood was great for me.
Shaolin.
Yeah.
Yo, absolutely. Okay. So, real quick, the point I was trying to make, because I got to show this, like when the same people who scream about, Trump being a racist and all of this, they never talk about this, though. They never, ever mention what the president said not even 10 minutes after he'd been sworn in.
To the Black and Hispanic communities, I want to thank you for the tremendous outpouring of love and trust that you have shown me with your vote. We set records, and I will not forget it. I've heard your voices in the campaign, and I look forward to working with you in the years to come. Today is Martin Luther King Day, and his honor, this will be a great honor, but in his honor, we will strive together to make his dream a reality. We will make his dream come true.
Yeah. Worst racist ever. Worst racist ever. Okay? Worst racist ever. All right. So let's go. Let's get to this. Yeah, somebody needs to explain to me, and shout to Don Keith, who originally posted this. Why is this happening right now in New York City? I really need to, somebody really needs to explain this to me. I do not understand why this in the Delancey Street, Essex Street station. This looks like it's on the Fox on the F train platform. Please explain. I'll play a little bit of this, and then John, Eric, you give whoever wants to go first can. But yeah, I need for this to I need an explanation for this.
Not rip you. I'm in a job.
But he's doing the
I'm
job.
In a job, ma'am.
He's doing the job, sir.
I have to protect my family.
What is this courtesy? Where's your courtesy? I'm a senior citizen. He's on the job.
I said wait.
He is on the job. He is on the job. Does your mayor know this?
Ma'am, it's on the
Does your mayor?
I'm in a job.
He's on the job. There's 2 of you.
Okay.
2 people for 1 guy? Ridiculous. I just have one question.
Let's he touch his arm.
One little simple question.
If he hit, who protect? You protect him?
Oh, you think he's gonna hit you?
Giving him a massage? What's
Oh
going on
my
here?
God, I don't believe. Only in New York City, they think this young guy is gonna hit them.
Those are yoga techniques.
Those are me and Eric.
Dad, you came from shopping. And I'm a senior citizen.
Hey, what'd you say?
Tantric technique. Look at this. This is a yoga
Those
tantric
were me
technique.
and Eric's replacements. That's who they were. I couldn't say because you don't want a white guy who's Catholic and unvaccinated, refuses to take a vaccine. You don't want a blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy running around the South Bronx. And this is what the left wants, dude. Think about what the left's been telling you for the last 15 years. You know, Eric Adams was big on this, telling you that basically white people that grew up in New York City, like myself, you grew up in Brooklyn, grew up in Staten Island, you can't police black and brown neighborhoods because you don't know the culture. You don't know the culture, and you're more likely to be heavy-handed. And then even worse, they do it to the guys from Long Island and Rockland and Suffolk. They tell them, well, you're not even from the city, so you definitely can't, right? But those same people have no issue bringing people who were not even raised in this country, who became men in foreign countries, do not know the cultures of our country whatsoever, never mind our state or our city, and it's perfectly fine for them to be the police, but white men who grew up in New York City shouldn't. You know, and they're basically calling for segregation. And I ask all the time, I said, so you want to go back to segregation? Should only white cops police white neighborhoods? And you know, if something goes on in the black neighborhood, I don't respond. Like, what are you asking for? And, you know, it's something, it's a really hot topic. I actually posted exactly about this last week, and I got ripped to shreds from the black community. Like, ripped to shreds. That, like, that's not what we're calling for. We just want respect. I'm like, no, that's exactly what you're calling for.
Exactly what
and
they
you
were
have
calling
nothing
for.
to say about that, because it doesn't matter. That's an elderly woman. I don't care if she's white, if she's black, if she's Hispanic. I mean, the guy has no common sense. Look, she's a little annoying, but like, it is what it is. Like, you got to, hey, ma'am, what can I do? The lady wanted directions. I mean, where are you looking to go, man? You know what I mean? Okay, yeah. You know, and that was it. So, you know, that was me and Eric.
Why was he massaging his arm? Yeah.
I didn't know what that was either. He was
like massaging his arm. What was going on with that?
Feathering his bicep. I can tell you this. Look, you look at small animals, right? Rats, when they're cornered, they scratch and they become dangerous, right? They'll bite you. That's what those cops are. They're little guys that are scared. They're terrified. They don't even know the streets of New York City. Who's more dangerous? Me and John that can handle ourselves, or those two guys that are terrified? Who's going to grab that gun faster?
Yeah, no, it's true. It's a good point. That's a very good point.
Me and John, first of all, I have that old lady, no problem. Don't worry about it. I'm going to walk you to the school. That guy who looks like he's malnourished, I'm going to pick him up with one finger. I'm like, all right, buddy. But those, right?
I'm on the job.
I'm on the job.
I'm on a job. Hey, what are you doing?
And how much English do they understand?
You cannot do this to me. I need to protect my friend. Like,
That guy should be playing cricket. Let's be honest. That's a big sport in Bangladesh. You know, I got no problem with Bangladesh. He shouldn't be doing police work, but they don't want guys from New York City anymore. They don't want kids that grew up in Staten Island. They don't want that.
Dude,
that's crazy.
What's more racist though? Like, think about this for a second. They don't want white guys, right? White guys like you, like John and Eric here. They don't want you guys policing black neighborhoods. So instead, because these people are absolute fucking racists, they're the worst kind of fucking racist possible, they just figure, you know what? We'll just put whatever looks like blacks, the closest matching brown skin, we'll put them in these neighborhoods and hope for the fucking best.
Yeah, the first black guy he ever met was in the train station. That was the first black guy he's ever seen. You know?
Exactly. I grew up with black people. I went to school with black people. This person has no idea. You know, go back to the Chinese kid in the hallways in PSA 2 in Bedford-Stuyvesant, right? They throw this 5'2" Chinese kid to go do verticals in one of the worst housing projects in New York City in an all-black neighborhood. The kid is so straight.
What's a vertical?
Sorry, a vertical is like a search of the staircases. Like, you'll go up and then you'll come back down, right? And so the kid is so petrified. He's got his gun out. He's got his finger on the trigger. So here comes some black kid walking with his girlfriend. He opens the project door. If you're familiar with the projects, boom, you hear like a big boom, right? Boom. The kid's not doing anything wrong, bro. He's walking with his girlfriend. He opens the door, boom. Kid gets petrified, pulls the trigger. The bullet skims up the railing of the project building directly into the kid's heart and kills him.
Oh my God.
And you know, I'm like,
this was within the last 10 years, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a while ago. It was a while ago, but
wow.
That's sad. That's tragic.
That's what happens when you put people who weren't born in this country, who actually aren't familiar with the cultures of New York City. That's what happens.
And they've seen a lot of movies.
You know what I mean? That wouldn't have happened if it was me and Eric. I wouldn't have had my finger on the trigger. I wouldn't have had my gun out. I would have been, you know what I mean? I'm not afraid when I see a black person. Oh, you coming? Hey, what's going on? What are you doing, bro? Like, like I would. It would have been. He would have walked by, gave me a pound, or he would have cursed me out and kept walking. One or the other.
I did police work for 20 years. I was a special operations lieutenant, anti-crime, which means I did my performance in plainclothes almost my entire career. I wrestled with guns 4 or 5 times in a day, sometimes getting guns off the street. And I'm not saying it's impossible; it could happen, but I never fired once. I never fired my gun one time. And same thing for John. And I'm not saying, listen, there are people that get shootouts. There's a good reason for it. But for us, we were fortunate enough we never had to fire. Who do you think has a better chance of firing that gun? That kid from Bangladesh who was playing cricket, or me and John hanging out playing stickball with the kids in the street of New York City?
Yeah, and I would say, like, to your guys' point too, it's like they should be having native New Yorkers as much as possible, because people need to assimilate. If you come from another country, another state, whatever, you got to assimilate to the local culture, man, to the local people. But it's the opposite. It's the opposite thing. It's like, are you going to have guys who barely speak English, don't know the culture, like you said? Maybe they watch too many Hollywood or TV shows in America and translated, where there's like, it's just called gangster movies of like violent black people. So like, going, oh my God, I'm going to get killed. I saw Boys in the Hood, and they should. Of course, it makes more sense to have native New Yorkers policing New York City. Of course, it does.
If the first black guy you ever seen in your life is at Kings Plaza Mall, you got a problem. I mean,
And then the other thing is this. I just want you to think about this too. It's like, who's going to be more competent when you call 911? Who do you want showing up? Do you want me and Eric showing up, or do you want a kid that did not grow up in this country, that really doesn't understand? Like, how competent is that? You're going to be like, I'm never calling 911 again. I couldn't even, I could barely understand what he was saying. He could barely understand me. And it was just a terrible interaction, and he left. And then the other thing is, like, policing is a really, really thin line of, are you following the edicts of a communist, or are you constitutionally policing? And so now if I tell that kid, yeah, by the way, everyone that's not standing 6 feet apart, lock them up. Do you think he's going to push back at all? No, he's going to be locking you up for standing 6 feet within 6 feet of your wife and your kids without even caring about it. Constitution.
John, and like, yeah, to your point, the language, man. I mean, you can't really understate that enough. It's like, how hard is it to call up customer service for your fucking cell phone or something, and the guy's Indian, Bangladeshi, and it's like, I'm trying to explain, I need this, I need that. The conversation takes forever. It's the most frustrating thing in the world. How's that supposed to work when you got a police officer coming during a crisis? People's like, there might be time is short. People are very aggressive. People are stressed. People feel threatened. That doesn't make any sense. I understand having those guys in, like, if it's a complete Bangladeshi immigrant community, and then of course you need some guys that speak that language, as police, and maybe you have them partnered with a local guy. That would make sense to me.
Nino, you made a great point, because you said also the culture, right? There is a certain culture in New York City that people just don't understand. I travel the entire country by RV. I've been to cities, I've been to small towns, and one thing I've learned is a lot of people I met said they've been to New York and didn't understand how cool the people were in New York, but they had a rough time understanding the culture, right? Like, what's the culture? If me and John are hanging out, I'm like, hey, what's up, asshole? He's gonna call me names, but that's the way we talk. And for a lot of guys I met out west or different parts of the country, they said they didn't understand that. They had a hard time understanding that. It made them very upset. And so there is a certain culture. And I don't think that those guys actually understand the culture. And there is a different language. And I'm not saying they can't be tough. I'm not saying, but there has to be a part of that culture. Policing is not a one size fits all. I don't think I could be a good cop in a small town, but I think it works both ways.
Right.
I don't understand if there's, I mean, again, this just proves to me how racist the left truly is. It always has. I mean, like, if I had the choice between one of you guys coming and policing in the five boroughs, if I still lived in New York City, you guys would be the first ones that I would depend on Because first off, you guys are in shape. You keep your bodies well. You know what I'm saying?
That's important.
That's the most important. Listen, my dad, shout to Kevin Carter. Love you, Pop. My father was so big into keeping himself fit for when he was a correctional officer. Okay. He had a home gym set up in the basement of the house we grew up in Northeast Baltimore. Okay.
Nice.
Kevin Carter did not fuck around when it came to taking care of himself. And he still doesn't. At 67 years of age, he still doesn't. Okay. He drives my mother nuts because he's always taking my mom, to places to work out and like give it a this concoction here. It's the best thing. But they've been married for like 46 years. I love them to death. But anyways, you can't like these cops that are out here. Now I'm not in shape. I'm not in the type of shape I need to be. Okay, at 43. But these cops that are out here in New York City, like guys, they look like shit.
Oh, they
look like shit. They're fat. They're out of shape.
The BBL.
Okay? The
BBL.
Bro.
I think it looks ridiculous, and they can't even run. I'm like, good luck.
Yeah, but it's a safety feature, though.
The ass don't match. Listen, the ass don't match the legs. Okay, like that's bad enough. But like I said, like I've seen these. Like you all are 5'2". You all are like 5'2", 5'1", calling yourself a police officer trying to arrest somebody my size. I'm 6'3".
I've seen that.
They're gonna shoot you, bro. That's the whole thing. Like even if you act it up, they're more likely you're gonna get shot by somebody like that.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I don't seriously. Why is I know you covered this, but like it's.
I'm glad at least it's comment.
Yeah, me too.
Cops, bro, I hate fat cops. I do. I'm fat myself. I fucking hate fat cops. Okay, it drives me nuts. Why are you fat and you're a police officer?
My co-host Isaiah L. Carter is very fat phobic. I apologize, everybody.
And I'm over 300 pounds.
He suffers from fat phobia.
I'm not a police officer. I'm not a cop. I'm not a CO. My brother, who is a police officer, my next to the baby brother, he's not fat at all. He's in shape. He has to be in shape. But these cops, like I'm seeing cops with bigger bellies than me. Go fuck yourself, Shake.
Who is that? I see Shake has a lot to say.
I hate you too, asshole.
Yeah, Ron Nathan in the comments.
Yo, Shake, you missed last week's show, bro. What the hell's going on, man?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like
you're supposed to be here every show. You're supposed to be watching every single Apostate Radio episode. You hear me?
Exactly. Dude, like please help me out. Why are so many cops fat these days, guys? Why? Why is that?
John, do you have that answer?
Yeah, because nobody wants the fucking job, so they're taking anything. They've dumbed down every standard there is. Oh, and by the way, did you guys know that if you run, every recruit used to have to run 1.5 miles to become a police officer, right? In like under 15 minutes, you could literally walk it. Like
I've taken that test when I applied to Baltimore City Police years ago.
But, it got thrown out because somehow running 1.5 miles is prejudiced against black and brown people.
Oh,
now I'm like, how am I supposed to believe that? I watch the Olympics.
Yeah, marathon runners always
African.
Africans.
Every year, I watch professional sports, and I'm like, I'm sorry, you're telling me that black people can't run. I don't believe you. I was like,
you ever watch the NBA?
Are you kidding me?
My whole life, and I was subpar as far as speed and running. All the black kids on my team were much faster than me. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to stereotype, but to sit there and say that, like, I'm like, this is the most racist thing I've ever heard in my life because you're literally saying that black people can't run, which is a blatant lie, and we all know it to be a lie. But so anyway, we had to remove it to stop the racism, I think.
I'm just saying.
And that's why you have fat cops there.
They run from what did you say, Latina?
They run away from the police. They can run.
To me, listen, it shows you
do that. But I can walk. I could walk at a brisk pace, and I could outrun some of these police officers on New York City Police Department, bro.
Yeah, but you're the closest thing to a white man, so that's the thing. We don't want that in the police.
Straight black man is the white man. You just educated us on that.
That's true, man. Yeah, you are the white people of black people.
I know, right?
So,
but honestly,
welcome to This Is Mayor Mamdani's Police.
Oh, you grew up in an urban environment? No, we don't want you. Get the guy from a foreign country, throw him in the city.
I grew up arguably in one of the rough. I grew up in a town that's more rough than New York.
Absolutely.
I grew up in Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Baltimore's rough as fuck. It's rough right now. Like you got earlier today, just real quick. Earlier today, I saw this video that the Baltimore Sun had posted. It was the sorriest shit I've ever seen in my life. You got all these weird black folk just out there dancing in the middle of first up Harbor Place in the Inner Harbor. Y'all have been there, right?
Oh, I've been to Baltimore a lot of times. I even drove to the hood too.
Yeah, the whole fucking city's the hood. What are you talking about?
The Inner Harbor's cool.
But like Harbor Place. I don't know if you've been there within the last year or two.
What's that other spot? Fells Landing?
What's that?
That's another spot. What's that? Fells Landing?
Point is east. Fells Point is further east.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking downtown. I'm talking the Inner Harbor. It's east of the stadium. So like where the Ravens and the Orioles play, you walk if you walk eastbound on Pratt Street, you'll hit Harbor Place and the Gallery and all that. They're empty. Harbor Place and the Gallery are fucking empty. There's nothing there. All the stores have cleared out. They had the Cheesecake Factory, which is a restaurant that had been there for 30 fucking years, gone. Okay, Harbor, the Gallery, which was like a 4-floor indoor mall, that closed back in 2022 or something like that.
Phillips is gone, right?
What's that?
Phillips is gone too, right?
Well, Phillips left the Light Street Pavilion a long time ago. They filled in. They went to where ESPN Zone used to be, and they've been there ever since. But the point I'm trying to make is, these weird black people are from the hood. They're dancing. I'll pull up the video in a minute. They're dancing in the middle of desolation. There's nothing in it. All the stores and the restaurants cleared out, gone. And they're dancing, and it was raining yesterday. It's like y'all are literally dancing in the midst of desolation. There's nothing going on there.
Isaiah, while we have time, man, we should start talking about Mamdani, man. What's going on with the?
I'm sorry, we're
running out of time over here. We got a lot to talk about. What do you guys? What is Mamdani done, man? What has Mamdani done to the police force? What do you guys top of mind? What's going on?
Nino, hold on. I apologize to you, Nino, because fat cops just derailed me, bro.
Yeah, that's all right. Let's get back on track over here.
I'd like to take a stab at that. I tell you, I don't think Mamdani has done anything different to the police that it hasn't done to themselves so far under former Mayor Bill de Blasio and also
I guess that's good news.
I blame the leadership. It's the leadership of the NYPD under those three mayors that has been placating and sucking up to them because they're self-serving. They want to pave the way for their kids, pave the way for their offspring, and pave the way for their own stars as they get promoted. It's them. Zohran Mamdani, we know exactly who he is. The people voted for him, but we don't know who the leadership of the NYPD is. I can tell you who they are. They're a bunch of pandering scumbags, and they do whatever it is to destroy the profession. The boots on the ground are trying to do what they have to do, but it's the leadership that has destroyed them. Zohran Mamdani is another Eric Adams. Eric Adams is Bill de Blasio. They're all the same person.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, dude, look at the terrorist.
He was saying this.
Look at the terrorist attack. Look how he handled the terrorist attack.
Mm-hmm.
You had two terrorists that were able to infiltrate a protest and not light one, but light two IEDs and throw them. And the only reason those things didn't go off is because they didn't know how to make the bomb. That's it. And what they do, they told you that everything went according to plan. They did a great job. We had a chief that was able to jump over a barrier. Whoop-dee. We're gonna keep doing this, and we're gonna go even further and remove our counterterrorism resources away from protests. which is insane to me because what they're telling you is you can't have counterterrorism resources at a First Amendment activity. New Year's Eve is a First Amendment activity. Thanksgiving parade's a First Amendment activity. Anytime there's a mass gathering of people, it's a First Amendment activity. Being the #1 terrorist target in the world, which New York City is, it's not 1, it's not 2, it's not 100, it's #1. It's always on the top of the radar. To say that you're going to leave mass gatherings vulnerable and decouple your counterterrorism resources from it is insane. Now, is it any different than what Eric Adams was doing? It's not. But just the fact that he's vocalizing it, and after a terrorist attack saying he's going to go even further at weakening and emasculating the NYPD's protest response, it's insane to me. So where's the police department headed? It's headed on that trajectory all the way down, which it doesn't matter who was in there. If it was Cuomo, if it was anybody, it was going down, dude.
That's the scariest thing to me too. I was going to bring that up. What's that? That anti-terrorism SRG or something?
SRG, Strategic Response Group.
And here's the thing. Like,
that's right.
Here's the thing about the SRG, that he wants to disband it, saying that they're counterterrorism and he wants to decouple it. They're not essentially really a counterterrorism unit. Like, we have the Critical Response Command, which is a counterterrorism unit. We have a whole bureau of the Counterterrorism Bureau. But see, what the Strategic Response Group does is they're very effective at when there are these hostile takeovers, when there's takeovers of critical infrastructure like subways, trains, bridges, streets, roadways. They come in and they're very good at controlling crowds and affecting mass protest. That in itself is a counterterrorism posture, right? Like having a competent protest response. Because if they were deployed on scene that day, I'm going to say that I don't even think those kids have the balls to light one IED right next to cops and throw it. But certainly they never get the second one off. They never get that second one off. They get apprehended right there because they'll have eyes on everyone in that crowd. And the reason I believe he wants to get rid of the Strategic Response Group is because he does not want that competent response. He wants, when there's takeovers of that infrastructure, for it to be out of hand.
And he's virtue signaling to the Red Green Alliance groups. Keep that in mind.
Yeah,
he's not in control. He's being weaponized. He's being used. The person that's really in control is DSA and Linda Sarsour. I tell people to get familiar about who she is and what she's been doing. And she's very extremely radical. And she doesn't hold back about what she wants and how much she hates the NYPD. So keep that in mind.
Keep in mind,
yeah, DSA is led by a communist, I think, now, like literally open communist, and
the Democratic Socialist of America.
Yeah, and I read like not just like, oh, we call him he calls himself a communist. He said the end goal is communism. Is the leader of the DSA, like the party, and also I think more than half of the party now has like been polled or something like that. That they're actually more than half of the party are literal communists. Like that's what they want. Go ahead, Eric.
I think it's important to note that. It's I put the blame on the leadership of the NYPD. Show that they're not impervious to outside influence. Which I mean politics. Yes, the mayor appoints the police commissioner, but we saw no resistance when it came to the vaccine mandate. So Zohran Mamdani knows there's going to be no resistance from the police commissioner and the upper echelon to do what's necessary for law enforcement. Zohran Mamdani knows in a second. If he was to throw out the police commissioner, which is a rumor going around, or any leadership in the NYPD, there are people who know damn well how the law enforcement profession is supposed to work, but they're waiting in line right now, begging to get the next job on the Zohran Mamdani and bury the entire profession. So I blame them. I blame those people on the sidelines right now that are waiting for a job right now, and they'll do exactly what Zohran Mamdani wants: strip SRG, strip away law enforcement, emasculate the profession, and they're waiting in line right now as we speak.
Why would you think that's a good idea to do that, Mamdani or whoever, to strip SRG and to couple them when there's obviously, first of all, we started a war with Iran, right? So there's going to be terrorist attacks or attempts coming from that, I'm sure. There already has been, I believe, in this country, but that's always a risk. We also, with Trump's in office, so there's always some kind of protest going on. There's a lot of radical leftists, obviously, in New York, and there's foreign people who are pissed about Iraq, Iran, you name it. And it's like, and then of course this culture of mass shooting, that's so constant as well. I mean, so there's so many different reasons why at a mass protest, any kind of mass gathering, a parade, a concert, Central Park, anything going on in there, that you need to have like exactly what John was talking about with this SRG. You need people who are very competent to be doing this. You need a lot of people to be able to do that, because there might be a couple different things going on in the city where those guys need to be there. So it does seem like what Mamdani or whoever would be pushing for this is putting people's lives at risk easily.
That's what they want.
Potentially a lot of people's
They're
lives.
anti-American. That's what they want.
Yeah. I mean,
the other thing
seen.
you got to look at is what OC Chiose is pushing. Councilman Chiose, he's pushing. It's called the Curb Act. So not only do they want to get rid of SRG, they want to say that the NYPD can't bring bikes to protests. We often use bikes as temporary barricades, to help move the crowds. And he even wants it so that the NYPD is unable to deploy pepper spray at mass gatherings, events, whether they turn into riots or not. I mean, think about how crazy that is. That is a less than lethal option. And to say like cops can't deploy pepper spray, like, are we serious? Like, what
can you do? What are you gonna be able to do? Yell at them?
Cops.
What's going to happen is the cops are going to wind up punching people more, and then they're going to protest against the cops and say that they're brutal, and they're going to indict more cops, and less people are going to want to be cops, and cops are going to be less quick to react.
And the cops got to worry about getting their guns taken off of them and scuffles and fights. Yeah. With radicals, with crazy radicals. They're just going to
tell you, I'm on the job, and leave, and that's it.
Yeah.
I'm on a job. I'm on a job. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I agree.
They might massage your biceps for you.
The inner bicep.
Tickle your armpits.
So I have a question for John and Eric.
Okay.
Let's have this honest conversation. Do you think that Jessica Tisch is doing a good job running NYPD, and do you think that she's putting her foot down when it comes to Mamdani trying to dismantle NYPD's units?
No, there's no doubt about it. The answer is no. So I think that she's misrepresented and mischaracterized the actual crime numbers in New York City. I think she's gaslighting the public. She's actually giving out fictitious numbers. She intentionally leaves out specific eras or years when she gives out crime numbers. And she's not challenged. The elites love her. The media is afraid to actually challenge her. We've witnessed her at numerous city council hearings. She's not challenged by city council. In fact, she actually appears to control these meetings more than city council does because of her position. And clearly, she wants that job so bad, she's going to play the game. She has no business being there. If she wasn't an elite, if who she was, she would not be there. She doesn't know policing. She's not there because of great looks. She's there. Let's be honest, right?
That is. I fact checked that. That's true.
She's part of the 43rd richest family. That's why she's there, and she wants that job. She clearly doesn't need the money. She wants the job, so yeah, she's going to play the game. To me, it's like divorce attorneys. They're going to behind the scenes. They're laughing about what they had at dinner, and then in the public, they're going to play like they're actually arguing, and that's what I think they're doing.
How does Jessica Tisch get that job though? I mean, she has no police background. She's a commissioner, right? Is that right? She's an NYPD commissioner.
Drive around New York, or drive around Manhattan. All you're gonna see is the Tisch building here, the Tisch building there, Tisch Library, Tisch Hospital. I mean, come on, dude. Let me pick this billionaire heiress to be my police commissioner who has no police experience. Like, come on, dude.
Well, who do you guys think should be the next police commissioner? Because I hear that Jessica Tisch is on her way out the end of this month.
Well, I just one thing on Tisch though. I just gotta say, like, we had a terrorist attack that failed, thankfully, not because the NYPD thwarted it. And she doubled down and said that we're not going to change our protest posture. I'll never do anything to harm New Yorkers. I'll never do anything to harm my cops or the city. But, we're not going to change our protest posture, because that didn't have to happen at a protest. And then he's saying that he still wants to disband the SRG, and she says she's not with it, but she sends most of her staff out, community affairs, who are leading these protests now. They have no business leading the protest.
No.
They should be like an assistive unit, like an assisting unit at protests, and at events, not the lead bureau in charge of that. And she sends them to Ohio. To this Columbus, Ohio, to meet with the Columbus, Ohio's dialogue unit, which Columbus, Ohio's dialogue unit handled 30 protests last year. The police department the NYPD handled 4,564. Columbus, Ohio is not even a terrorist target threat at all. On the top 100, we are the #1 terrorist threat. We train people how to move crowds, how to couple our counterterrorism resources at First Amendment events. And she's playing the game totally. And who do I think should take over? I don't think anyone that's a cop that takes over is a sellout puppet, because they're going to be a spineless sellout puppet, and they're going to play the same game that Jessica Tisch is playing. They're going to play the same game that Adams Police Commission has played. The mayor is the police commissioner, and that is it. That is what is happening in New York City. Let it be Jamani Williams. Let it be Tiffany Caban. Don't ruin your good name. Don't ruin your good name, because I'll tell you right now, whoever it is, we are going to destroy them on the Finest Unfiltered. Not because we want to. We're going to tell the truth while you're on stage lying. That's it. It's just that simple.
Here's my response.
I got one question here from. I got a question here from the chat. Ron Layson at 70 asks, Eric, are all the Chiefs Wait a second. What's going on here?
So Ron Layson is actually from our network, and he gets mad when I say this. When I say this, and I stand by it, every active chief in the NYPD is complicit, and they're all compromised. They know damn well what's going on. And I think everyone needs to be thrown out on their ass. Everyone that's active right now knows exactly all the failures, and they're all responsible, because not one of them has stood up against the failures, and they're all waiting for the next job in line. It's like Game of Thrones up there. The person that gets cut off, they're all happy because they're the next one in line. Not one of them stood up for John, that he had to retire for the vaccine mandate. Not one stood up for Marley, who was terminated. Not one stood up for me, that was the most complained cop, talking about overzealous civilian complaint review board. You know how much sympathy I have for them? That much. Zero. They're all responsible for it. I've been told that they're compartmentalized. They don't know what's going on in the area. I guarantee none of them miss a free lunch at one police plaza. So they damn well know about the corruption going on. They know about the whorehouse being run at Police Plaza, getting millions of money in overtime, but they don't know about Marley getting terminated, right? That part they didn't hear. That fell on deaf ears. I hold them all responsible.
On the job.
Exactly.
But check this out. They put us all on the watch list, so they got time to do that.
Yeah, my kids were threatened.
Okay, let's talk about that for a second. Because Lattina, you called me earlier this week.
Right, look at you started.
And told me about this.
Hi, Eddie.
That apparently,
No, somebody was saying hello to me. Hi, Eddie West.
Who? Oh, okay, I'll look in this.
Good guy.
So, okay, serious question. Because Lattina, you told me about this, that apparently there is a list being circulated of people who the NYPD wants, I guess the brass wants nothing to do with, because they, quote, spread oppression or something like that. Could you fill everybody in?
Oh, you talking about Assistant Chief Victoria Perry of the Community Affairs Department allegedly put me on a watch list because she said that I'm spreading oppression towards a group. So Internal Affairs put together a file of my social media, my interviews I've done with national media like Newsmax and podcasts.
Internal Affairs, because you're internal.
But they use it to threaten a cop's promotion.
What's her name again?
Assistant Chief Victoria Perry. She got all the time in the world, right? She's in community affairs. This is someone I had a not so great past relationship with. I worked in community affairs in the past under this person. This person has never done any work. This person has been promoted several times for doing nothing. And then this person has been in the media multiple times for misusing taxpayers' money, their resources, and diverting it to, Eddie Caban's, the former PC, Eddie Caban's brother's restaurant, Consul Frito. But I'm on a watch list, and my speech is being censored. I'm being unlawfully surveillance. So you know what that means. When they put you on a watch list, that means they can just subpoena your phone records. They can track where you're at. So I'm up here talking to other cops about it. I'm like, are they allowed to do this? They said, no, that's a violation to my free speech. that is unlawful surveillance. So I said, well, who gave this woman, Victoria Perry, authority to conduct this so-called frivolous investigation about what I post, what I say on my personal social media, and then you're weaponizing taxpayer resources against conservatives. If this can happen to me, can happen to John, this can happen to Eric, and you guys know that they're very vocal. They have their own podcast. This can happen to conservative journalists, conservative reporters. This can even happen to you too, Isaiah. This is Mamdani's NYPD. Who signed off on it? Was it the soccer mom or was it Mayor Mamdani?
Probably Mamdani. This is it right here. This her.
Yeah, that's her.
John J. College of Criminal Justice.
Oh yeah,
that explains the whole fucking lot.
Miss FEMA credit.
So Lattina, who are you oppressing? Apparently, you've been oppressing somebody.
Well, I've been very vocal about the two terrorists who tried to detonate those bombs in Manhattan. And
I guess are you oppressing terrorists?
I'm oppressing them.
Why are you oppressing terrorists? That's terrible.
I'm oppressing them. This is what they're saying about.
Oh, this explains.
Just nice terrorists.
Hold on a second. I did explain.
Terrorists great again.
Yeah, can't people just throw bombs like in a parade in front of the mayor mansion?
Guys, I think I found what's going on here. I think I found it because hold on, let me just bring this up. What happened to my? Hang on a second. Yeah, I found it. Like she's. And what do you guys know about her being? Screen sharing was. I don't know why that was. What do any of y'all know anything about this lady being part of the Bangladeshi American Police Association? Is that the same?
Yeah, she's in the fraternity.
There it is.
Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah, this is the Madry crew. This is the Madry crew. Okay, that's what she's part of. All right, and I just feel like at this point, she's putting this file on me. So what I did, I took the necessary steps and filed complaints against her because I'm an American. I'm entitled to my free speech. I'm a political commentator. I have every right to speak out and defend Americans. You coming into my country and you're up here trying to, push division and stoke, fear to the American. I'm going to speak out about it. I don't care who it offends. Okay. No, I'm an American. This is America, baby. And I'm going to speak out.
Exactly.
Good. I'm glad you did that.
Disturbs me. So last question I'll ask. What do you think the future holds for the NYPD in general? Do you think, because I have my opinions on it, but I want to ask you guys, with everything that's happening, and for New York City in general, what do you think? What do you think the future holds for the city?
We're going to a London-based police, cops with no guns. You'll have specialized units, and basically that's where it's headed, and that's where it's been headed for the last decade since de Blasio. And I don't see the train slowing down, and I think you're going to continue to see incompetent, unqualified, more people becoming cops that if you called 911 and they showed up, you would never call 911 again. I mean, it's just what it is. And when you look at the leadership, it's the same thing. It's like it's incompetence on top of incompetence. And I hate to say it because I love the profession. I love the NYPD. It gave me a great life, made a man out of me. I hate to say it, but this is the politics of the city. Policing's controlled by politics. And, if you're listening to everything they're saying, if you watch everything that's happening, they want to go towards this London model where it's not really police. It's more like civilian police.
Well, I often say that policing is the most tangible form of government. So how do you get to an agenda? It's by stripping away at the fabric of law enforcement. So we don't get to the politicians that are at the hierarchy, but you can get to the boots on the ground. How do you get to the boots on the ground? By create legislation that makes the police appear to be incompetent, such as the diaphragm law, the chokehold ban, all these things that they've put in, these different laws and legislation. It makes the police appear incompetent. Why? The more that we get to strip away from the police, we inject AI and robotics. I think it's going to look like the Jetsons at some point. It's going to be robots. I think the police are being replaced, which is why they don't care how they recruitment is a major problem, and it just keeps hemorrhaging at this point. There's a mass exodus because I think ultimately it's going to be replaced with AI and robotics. I think eventually all occupations will be replaced with AI and robotics, but the first is law enforcement.
So we're going to see RoboCop in the NYPD, a lot of RoboCops.
Yeah, oh yeah, I mean, absolutely. You see it right now, right? That Bangladeshi cop was just like that. He doesn't have any emotions, doesn't understand the streets. You press A, you press B, that's it.
I'm on the job.
I'm on the job. I am on the job.
But you know what?
Let me do my job.
And I want to know you guys' take on this. So
it.
Mayor Mamdani created this whole community engagement unit, which is a breeding ground for fraud and corruption. They're trying to replace cops with these so-called social workers and people who can engage with, the community or whatever.
What community?
It looks like a hookup for his people, because I saw the people he put in that unit, and I know all their faces. They're all disgusting people, because if you look at their social media, they're very much anti-American and they're anti-police. And I'm like, so is this going to be Sharia law? Is this going to be the new Sharia law for New York City? Is he going to expand this and start slowly replacing NYPD police officers with this particular unit? I just want to get you guys' feedback about it, because I've been very vocal about it. They've all reported my accounts, but I'm going to still talk about it. But John and Eric, what's your take on the community engagement unit?
I'll go first if you want. So I personally think the community, the Department of Community Safety, you were promised that you were going to get this $1 billion thing that was going to replace NYPD cops from responding to people in mental crisis. That's never happening. You got 2 employees and a government office for $220 million. So I don't think you see that in his first term at all. You were promised you were going to get fast and free buses. It went to just fast buses. You were promised you were going to get free groceries. It went to affordable groceries in 2029. I don't think anything that he promised all of these socialists, he's going to deliver on one thing. The only thing I could see him delivering on is the universal child care, but it'll be in drips and drabs. And that is only because the infrastructure has already been put in place from Bill de Blasio. That is the only thing in his socialist agenda that he is actually going to deliver on, other than furthering to lower the headcount of the NYPD and emasculating the NYPD further. Other than that, when there's someone in mental health crisis on New York City streets, they're going to continue to be left to die on New York City streets, and they're going to continue to send police officers to deal with this, because that is the only way to do it. And unfortunately, the cops are in a no-win situation. And, it's just a vicious cycle for homeless people and for mentally ill people on New York City streets. And we're spending billions of dollars lighting it on fire. And look, I voted for Trump 3 times, but the fact of the matter is Doge needed to start in New York. Yes. And it should be happening right now in New York, and people should be handcuffed, going to jail for the hundreds of millions of dollars that have been wasted through the migrant crisis, the homeless crisis, the mental health illness, because it's not going anywhere. So I think exactly what you said, Lattina. The Department of Community Safety is grift for his buddies. And in 4 years, he'll be saying how you're going to get it again. He's going to run on that. He's going to put it in, and you're never going to see it.
I think New York City is at the movie theater right now. They're all sitting there. They got popcorn, and they're watching the trailers. Free free buses, free this, just like John said. You're watching the trailers. You're getting all these community safety officers, but the subliminal messages are there, right? Go buy a Coke, go buy popcorn. Yeah, it's artificial intelligence coming. And I think that's what the subliminal message is. And they know damn well they can't transition to this community engagement right away. They have to do a slow process, right? That's why I think city council strips away at the police department, strips away at the profession, eventually to move to artificial intelligence. But they can't do it all at once. This community engagement would put the city in complete gridlock. And not only that, if anything, it would actually escalate the situation, because cops are going to go to brutalized situations, and they're going to have to carry weapons. They're untrained. It's going to be a quasi police force if it actually runs the way that Zohran Mamdani sees it. And the best evidence to show a comparison to that is what happened in the CHOP zone during COVID. They were anti-police, and what happened? That zone became more of a police barrier than you would see at a local precinct. And I believe that would happen, and that would be the same thing. It would be far more brutal and far worse than anything we've seen before.
So no-go zones, like they have in London and Paris and throughout all of Europe.
It looks terrible.
That's like Canal Street right now is looking like a fucking no-go zone.
I went out there. I saw the city. I couldn't believe what I was looking at. It looked like a third world fucking country. Like I've never seen anything like it. Filth, homeless people laying naked on the street. I mean, people taking drugs and stuff on the street. I've never seen anything like this in my life. It was like you're walking through Cuba or something. Unreal. Unreal.
And for some strange reason, and this is ultimately why communism is a pestilence that must be purged from the earth, because it's demon worship, it's devil worship.
Right.
It is like these people like that type of lifestyle, that type of environment is encouraged by the people in government. The state is God, but apparently the God that they serve has no problem with degeneracy and depravity.
Mm-hmm.
And to watch Canal Street, so I'm talking from Manhattan Bridge to about like 8th Avenue, to watch that to watch that area decline so rapidly. The I remember there was remember when food halls were big?
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
When they had like multiple restaurants in one place, there was a food hall I remember that had like Filipino food and like a really nice like Vietnamese like banh mi sandwiches and what that's gone. That's gone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like all of the nice stuff that was on Canal Street is gone. Like a lot of it is gone. And I don't know if it'll ever come back. I mean, a lot of people are like, well, the Chinese people, when it was Chinatown, it was like, no. I saw the decline taking place before Zohran got to Gracie Mansion. I was seeing the decline 2 years ago, 3 years ago. When I had friends coming up, it was bad. It was bad in 2003, 2023, 2024.
Well, hold on a minute. Jessica Tisch told you crime is down at historic low.
I knew you.
So that wasn't true.
I knew you was gonna say that.
Again, like it's like you guys have said. I mean, politics has completely corrupted NYPD. It's completely corrupted the way in which it's completely corrupted the quality of life. Cops can't do their job because no one wants to be, because everybody wants to appear to not be racist. And it's like, well, so now what they're doing is, in my opinion, now anti-racism seems to be the get out of jail free card, and for not doing anything, for just letting things fall to shit.
Mm-hmm.
You put some gigantic troon as your director of LGBTQI affairs or whatever the fuck acronym that is, and that's supposed to, and that just magically absolves you of all of your sins. Like, yes, you could, do stuff for the TQ plus, because you ain't doing anything for LGB. Okay,
oh, no,
you're not doing anything for them. But TQ plus, as long as you do anything you want for them, you can excuse everything else.
Well, LGB is close to white men too, so just
they don't like them.
They don't. They don't.
They're the white people or queer people.
LGB is out. They might as well be straight at this point.
Yeah. You put some fucking guy that looks, that looks like one thing but got a voice deeper than mine, and all of a sudden it's supposed to be diversity, equity, and inclusion. Get the fuck out of here. Anyway,
she wears underwear with dick holes in them.
I do have one other question. Kash Patel's name is like stuck in my brain, so I'm gonna like kind of keep an eye on things.
Okay.
But why Mayor Mamdani lied on his citizenship application, and this is all public information.
Yes, he did. Yes,
so
he did.
Why didn't the Trump administration take action to denaturalize
It's a good
Mayor
question.
Mamdani. Why is this guy allowed to still be mayor? Had this been a Republican, a foreign Republican, the outcome would have been very different.
They'd have got his
You know
ass
what
up
I
out of
mean?
there.
Yes, they would have got his ass out of there. They would have probably arrested him, do God knows what. But why is the president aligning himself with Mayor Mamdani, this guy who lied about being associated with groups that's tied to allegedly tied to terrorist organizations? Like,
If you want my honest opinion, well, you want to ask John or Eric first, or because I have a
either or. I mean, I just
Okay.
you know, it's just a little odd. I'm just
here's my take on it. Here's my take on it. Trump, they like these guys. We had Larry Sharp on a couple weeks ago, and Larry Sharp said that, and shout to Larry, great guy. He said that basically they, that on the surface, they love his charisma. There's Zohran's a charismatic guy. He's got that whole smile, and he's like he kind of looks like Mr. Magoo and whatnot. But I don't. But here's Grandma Kate just took the words right out of my mouth. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. But the thing is, this is a case the way I see it. This is a case of the Trump administration keeping their enemies closer. I don't believe for one single solitary minute, and John and Eric, you can comment on this too. I don't think for 1 second that Trump and Kash Patel and everybody else in that administration, I don't think there's a single one who does not know what kind of fucking monster Zohran Mamdani really is. I don't think that for 1 second. I think they are very much aware of who they are dealing with. I personally believe that they are focusing on all the external shit first before they go at him.
Because why put New Yorkers in danger? That's all I'm saying. That's my biggest concern. Why put our law enforcement and New Yorkers in danger, knowing the type of person that you're dealing with?
Well, I mean, the same thing could go. We could ask why did Donald Trump actually, take the back and take support for Eric Adams? And I think the same thing. The police department was weak at the same time. I think that may be a component to this, but I also think that we have to look at real estate. I think that real estate development in New York City is a big thing. I think that the elites are all sticking together right now for potential real estate, potential casinos in New York City. And I think Trump does have a big stake in that. I think that they all have interest in real estate in New York City. I think that's part of the big economic wheel in New York City, especially part of this particular political candidacy was behind Zohran Mamdani. I think real estate development is a huge issue in New York City. I think they're all part of it.
At the expense of New Yorkers' lives and our police officers.
Yeah, I mean, the law enforcement profession on the whole has been completely emasculated. They're all aware of it. Eric Adams ran a complete corrupt administration right in front of everyone's eyes, and Trump got right behind them with that. That's one of my disappointments with Trump. I voted with him too, but it's one of the disappointments I have. Is Zohran Mamdani the communist that everyone believes he is? I believe everyone wants to believe he is, but I don't think he is as much as they portray him to be. I don't see much difference between him and Eric Adams and Cuomo. I mean, if Cuomo was in office right now, would it be any different? Or Eric Adams? I don't see a difference.
I don't think. I mean, if you ask me, I don't think Cuomo would have been nearly as anti-police.
He's the godfather of bill reform.
Oh, he hates God. Do you remember Andrew Cuomo in 2020? He hated us, dude. He was horrible.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Bail reform, discovery reform. He said that we were racist. True. We needed to be reformed totally. He was
they would have all been the same then.
He blows with the wind. Like I don't think traditionally Cuomo is an anti-cop, but if there's an anti-cop sentiment in the media, he doesn't have spine enough to go back against it. Like he's not, he's just gonna go with the world. Like whichever the way the wind blows, that's where Andrew Cuomo. If the wind's moderate, he's moderate. If the winds fall left, he'd fall left. And I think it's true for all
bad leadership.
But I'll be honest with you.
Yes.
But I'll be honest with you. I think New York is the epicenter of all the corruption that's occurring in this country. And I hate to say it, but it's just my honest opinion, and I'm going to say it. The real Epstein Island is New York City.
Yes, it is. In the government entities. Yes, it is.
Yeah, I mean it figuratively. I don't mean I mean it figuratively. Exactly. As an entity, the real Epstein Island is New York City. And the reason there hasn't been a Doge here, and the reason why he hasn't went after Mamdani or any of the other corrupt politicians that on all of them and all the crimes they committed, is because if he does the same thing what he said about Epstein Island, a lot of good people are going to get hurt. What does that mean? A lot of my friends, a lot of my investors, a lot of my donors, a lot of my rich buddies, they're going to go down too. Because if you think for 1 second, the amount of corruption that's happened in this last decade is just on the Democrats, you're out of your mind. Because all of those Republicans are tied in on those migrant contracts and those homeless contracts.
Oh, hell
they're
yeah.
getting $10,000 a night per room, whether there's someone in that room or not. We're talking dude, we're talking high crimes. We're talking treason. I saw he wants to bring back firing squads. I mean, we should be lining up. I mean, almost all of our elected officials.
Oh, yeah,
because they've committed high treason crimes against humanity.
And Isaiah, when I talk about real estate, that's part of it. That's part of the migrant situation. All the hotels with the private contracts.
Oh my God,
making money on it. That's included when I said real estate as a generalized term, but that's all included. And I think that's a big part of it.
Listen. And where the hell is JD Vance? Why isn't he in New York with a team of people combing through every government entity, every nonprofit, every loan, every grant, every discretionary funding? There's a lot of shit going on with the discretionary fundings, the application, because what I know is that Mayor Mamdani hooked up his buddies, his Muslim buddies, with all that discretionary money before they open it up to the rest of the public. There's some shady shit going on. And the Democrats are just sitting back with their mouths closed because guess what? They're all in on it. They're all in on it.
And remember, New York City, when you look at the migrant crisis, if you add up every sanctuary city and state, including New York State, who gave half of their funding to New York City, New York City has more than double them. If you take New York State out of it, and you just go against every other state and city, New York State spent 20 times the amount of every sanctuary city, state, and city. I mean, and it is the head of the snake. And it's like everyone's like this. Oh, let's focus on what's happening on Minneapolis. What this kid exposed in Minneapolis is not even 12 hours in New York City.
New York and California is neck and neck in fraud.
Yeah. Exactly. That's why I said this goes beyond Sharia law. This goes beyond Muslim growth. Listen, Muslim is the biggest growing population in the entire world. Forget about just the U.S., it's the entire world. But I think New York City, as John and I are saying, it's the economic wheel. All the money's in there, especially for the elites. And real estate covers all this. All these private contracts, we're starting to see these indictments come out of the Eric Adams administration. I don't think Zohran Mamdani is any different, right? We see nepotism, cronyism, and it all comes down to some connection to real estate or some type of hotels, all these private contracts. They're all similar. They're all operating on a similar plane. There's just so much money to be made.
I would say, I would include in that the homeless shelters.
Bam. Thank you.
The homeless shelters, because listen, when I lived in Brownsville, I've told this story many times, but I'll say it right now with you. When I lived in Brownsville, I lived on Rockaway Parkway. Okay, nice block. I was like a 6-7 minute walk from Saratoga Avenue on the 3. In my immediate neighborhood were about 4 homeless shelters. Okay, 4 of them. There's one right on the corner of Kings Highway and East 98th. I remember when they moved all of the families who were in those buildings, okay? They moved them all out of that building. And then in 2023 and 2024, they were bringing illegals up from Floyd Bennett Field down there by Gateway Shopping Center. Y'all know where it is, okay? They were bringing them up from Floyd Bennett Field and putting them in these homeless shelters. In 2 years ago, 2-3 years ago, I picked up a drunken illegal from off the ground of my block. He was on the sidewalk. He was laid out. He's fucking drunk. Okay, couldn't speak English, couldn't speak a lick of English, and I had to pick him up because he was sleeping on the ground. Okay.
Oh, wow.
There was another instance where I'm on my way to work. Okay. And again, they're in the neighborhood. They are in this part of, they're warehousing these illegals in black neighborhoods. Okay. So here comes this illegal, and he's coming to me. I speak a little bit of Spanish. This guy comes to me and is asking me, is anybody hiring? He asked me if I'm hiring. I'm like, I'm going to work. Who am I going to hire? I don't have a business yet. You know what I'm saying? So like the fact that this was happening with such frequency, I saw the change in the neighborhood. I've told the story of there's a hotel called Vibes or something like that on White Plains Road and 240th Street. Latina, you know exactly where I'm talking about. I walk by there. It looks like a hotel, but on the door, it's got two signs that says no rooms available. And just beyond, and like, because the door is glass, okay, you see all of this like NYC government, like all the government paperwork. They say, welcome to this processing center and all that. It's ridiculous. So to your point, Eric, I do think that real estate is involved here, but the bigger issue, in my opinion, is the nonprofit industrial complex. The nonprofits run everything. That's where all the money is. That's where all the money's being laundered through. The SPLC indictment that came through, that 11-count indictment that came through last week, that's the key. That's the key, because it's going to be like that. It's going to be like that here.
Oh yeah. If they do their job, if JD Vance come out here with his team of people and start, really looking into it, I just, at this point, I've given up hope. I don't think that they're going to ever look into it. Do not black pill. That's how I feel.
Do not black pill. Because here's the thing. Who's to say they're not already there?
Dude.
Who's to say they're not already there?
I would, you know what, from your mouth to God's ears, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is everybody's focusing on California and mostly on Minneapolis, but I'm like, dude, New York has been doing this shit for decades.
I agree.
When are we going to start cracking down on it? And
I wouldn't argue with on. I actually agree with you, and I just think that Sanctuary City comes down to private contracts, and I think you're talking about the industrial complex. I agree. I mean, and what we've seen from it shows the level of corruption. No one was bidding for these contracts, right? Eric Adams put specific people to have jobs to hire certain people for certain contracts, right? Security companies have to be hired for these shelters. That private contracts have to be set up, right? The food vendors are set up. They're not bidding for it. And the same thing's going on with Zohran Mamdani. All these people are hiring people that they know, and it's all private contracts. And no one's bidding for them. So I agree with you. I agree. And it all falls into the real estate, though. But the real estate, it's all connected. It's all, and that's what, even if we go on further, if we're going to, I know we don't have time today, but if we were going to talk about Rikers, it's connected to that also. Casinos, that's real estate.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, we can go all day. There's just so much money to be made.
What type of? But think of this. I'm going to tear down your jail so I can build luxury apartments. Right
exactly.
Over, right? Oh, like it is the sickest. Why would you want to? Serious question. Why would you want to build luxury apartments on Rikers Island?
So that the rich have a playground and they keep all you working class bums out of that, and they don't have to deal. They don't have to deal with the riffraff, bro. They come to They come to Manhattan, Midtown. They keep nice. Soho, they keep nice. The rest of you guys, we don't care about you.
So what the fuck? Are they going to turn it into Star Island like in Miami?
Like I said, New York's the real Epstein Island, bro. Everybody's looking over there. Everybody's looking over there. You should be looking at the playground for the rich.
Yep.
And they ain't Democrat or Republican. Billionaires aren't Democrat or Republican.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
And guess what they all got? Not for profits.
Yep.
And guess what all their kids got? Not for profit.
Not for profit.
Guess what all their nephews got? not-for-profits. And guess what all their kids got? Not-for-profit. You know,
what does that fall to?
It's all a big game, and you ain't in it. Yeah,
it's a big club, and you ain't in it.
That's right. I say it's one way in, one way out.
One way in, one way out. Wait a minute. Grandma Kate asked, do they have a plan to build on Potter's Field?
Potter's Field, bro. The best movie of all time, dude.
Oh,
Potter's
God.
Field. What movie is that from?
Potter's Field.
No, It's a Wonderful Life.
See, I'm not old enough to know that.
Grandma Kate said, I'll make bets JD won't come to New York. Grandma Kate, I'm going to have to agree with you on this.
I'm with Grandma Kate too.
And she's right. 17 trillion in nonprofit. 70 trillion. She's spot on.
$17 trillion. And Crystal loves David 17. Thank you for that. Yeah, I don't know, ma'am. I'm only 43. I can't even. I don't even know the last time I watched It's a Wonderful Life. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Great movie. You gotta watch it. Best movie ever.
John, it still hold up? I do want to watch it. I listened to something about it the other day, and I'm like, should I watch It's a Wonderful Life? I never got around to it.
If you're ever having a bad day, watch It's a Wonderful Life. Great movie.
Yeah.
You know what a movie you could relate to it is, but It's a Wonderful Life is a lot cleaner and a lot better. You ever watch 25th Hour?
I don't know if I've ever seen that either.
You ever seen 25th Hour?
No,
I don't think so.
No, they're great. That's a New York classic. You got to watch 25th Hour.
Is that with Christopher Walken?
It's with Ed Norton, and it starts off, and he's going through all the neighborhoods of New York City.
Ooh, that looks good.
Everybody. He hates the Italians. He hates the Chinese. He hates
Ooh, that's a great cast.
He hates the blacks. He hates
Edward Norton in it. So is it like American History X, but on the East Coast?
No. It's like there's this New York guy that gets in trouble, and he's going to jail.
Okay.
Basically, he hates New York, right? He hates everything about it. But then right before he's about to go into jail, that same thing where he's like hating everyone, he goes through all of it, and then he loves all the culture and all the diversity. And he didn't realize what he had until he lost it, you know? And that's kind of what It's a Wonderful Life is.
Okay.
It's a great movie. You gotta watch that movie.
Yeah. 25th Hour is good, man. It's a Spike Lee flick too. That's a real good movie.
Okay.
Okay.
Classic New York City movie. Gotta watch that.
I'm going to talk about New York City movies now. Here we go.
Was the best, rather. God, I miss him. I miss Philip Seymour Hoffman. Damn.
Yeah.
He's a good actor.
Anyways,
I'm mad at the list.
You guys have been absolutely fantastic. I have really enjoyed the show tonight. You guys have been great. I really appreciate y'all coming on. What are all y'all working on? Anything that you want to promote real quick before we get out of here?
Yeah, I mean, you know, look, we're Finest Unfiltered, me and Eric, we're always doing it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 08:05 a.m. You know, we go live. We're live on YouTube, Rumble, X. You know, we're everywhere at the Finest Unfiltered. And like tomorrow, we're having one of the world's leading security experts on, former NYPD detective Pat Bronson. He brought, he built a security company that was in, over 220 cities in almost every state in the country, to over 7,000 employees. Real familiar with executive protection. Plus, we're going to have Chief Rob Lukash from the executive perspective, and he was an emergency services chief, and he was in charge of all of these presidential details as they came in. So we're going to be breaking down, what happened at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And that's what we do. We break down the internals of in the NYPD or anything that's happening in law enforcement. I'm working on a book, but it's not ready, so I'm not even going to promote that at this point. But Eric, anything you got?
Yeah, I just want to say, I think we're the pioneers in police media. And I mean it. It's not just hug a cop and back the blue. You hear that quite often, very cliche. But you watch the Finest Unfiltered. I think we break down police work in a way people have never seen it before. And it's from a different lens. And from boots on the ground, it's not just, you get to know cops on a different level where people they've got to know our personalities and know who we are. We have different takes on policing. John has different takes. I have different takes. So does most of the network, Marlon and Rod and Rob, Tom and Pete. We have a taste for everyone. We have 10-4 Tavern, great show, got us on a national level. Law enforcement professionals from the entire country. The executive perspective, Ron Layson, former inspector, and Rob Lukash, he was a former chief. So they have a perspective from the hierarchy for the NYPD. And John and myself, we were rough and tumble lieutenants, grew up as New York City kids. Marlon, he's an immigrant. who grew up in New York City as well, became a detective at the NYPD. So I think everyone has a great story. It's almost like I always say we're kind of like the Wu-Tang Clan, different MCs, and we come together and you watch the Finest Unfiltered, you get the truth about police work. Something people don't necessarily hear, and we break it down honestly. You know, when if it's wrong, we'll say so, and if we're wrong, we'll tell you that too.
You guys definitely have unique takes for sure.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
you guys are new.
Very interesting takes. Yeah,
and the one thing I will say before I get to Latina, like I greatly appreciate that, even though there are things that we've disagreed on on this show, we're not trying to kill each other.
Oh no,
we're not out here trying to hurt each other. We're not. No. We're hopefully
we're not racist.
Oh my God!
Actually, it's the anti-racists who are worse. Latina, what you working on, girl?
Well, I'm moving quietly behind the scenes. You guys will probably hear about it probably soon in the media. But I just want to say I will be tuning in to Eric and John's stuff in the morning. I'm looking forward to that show. Isaiah, thank you for having me on. Nino, thank you for having me on. This was a great segment. And also, just guys, subscribe to all of my social media platforms. I'm mostly on X because X, they don't censor people. They don't censor conservatives. You can follow me on my YouTube channel. Subscribe, please. You can follow me on Instagram and subscribe to my Facebook if you want like real authentic information about these sorry ass politicians and these sorry ass community leaders. You can count on me to hold them accountable and put it out there. So if you want real authentic content and someone's going to tell it like it is, I'm your girl, Lattina Brown, your favorite community advocate.
And like I said at the beginning of the show, if she's not your favorite by now, I don't know what is wrong with you.
No, I just was looking aside. Thank you to Nino and thank you to Isaiah for having us here. And you know what's so cool about this? I mean, thank you to anyone that's out there podcasting because you give up a lot of time. Sure as hell you're not doing it for the money. It's the money. So anyone who's doing it, John, special thanks to you, brother, for all you do behind the scenes, man. Appreciate it. Latina, awesome seeing you as always. Isaiah, Nino, it's a pleasure meeting you guys.
Pleasure meeting you, bro. And I'm
been a pleasure, guys.
Yeah,
this honored to have you guys here. Right. Anytime anybody wants to come back, promote something, talk about. Hey, I really want to talk about something with you guys. Let us know, man. Any ideas? You know, we'll fit you into the schedule.
Yeah, because I will tell you this. I think I could learn something, or we could learn something from you guys regarding how, regarding some of the behind the scenes stuff. I think I could really learn from you guys. If you are you like in town next week at all by chance, or no?
Yeah, I'll be up there all June, July. I'm not coming up till then though. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Eric. What about you?
I'll be there for a couple of days in June also, so I might as well plug it. This is going to be a fundraiser for my son. May 1st will be cancer. June 12th to the 14th will be a big fundraiser. I'll put it out on social media. Okay. It's going to be in Long Island. So thank you to the Gunfighters Club, former NYPD guys. It's a bike club raising money in honor of Derek's name. I can't be appreciative enough of that. So I'll be there that weekend. I hope we could all hook up. So
I will do what I can to get there. Yeah. No, seriously, Eric. Let's stay in touch. Because I would like to be there for that. I really would.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I would like
thank
to
you
be
so much.
For that. You're
I'm
welcome.
happy to share it if you can just.
Let us know, Eric. We'll share that.
Yeah, I'll pass it on. Thank you so much.
Yeah, pass on the tweets or whatever to us. Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank y'all for being with us tonight. We really appreciate it, guys.
Have a good night, guys.
All right. Good night. Good night. Drop y'all down real quick. Thank y'all so much for being here. Man, what a show. What a show. These are great. If there's one thing, we covered a lot of stuff. If there's one thing I can honestly say about Apostate Radio, what we do here, we have had the real privilege of meeting fascinating people over the year and change we've been doing this.
That's the best part of it for me, man.
Yeah. Same here. I wanted to take a moment to there's a gentleman whose name I have been keeping alive here in New York, well, here in the United States since 2023. Like, this is a gentleman who I've gotten to know him, his family. He was done quite wrong here in the United States. Before I begin, again, I want to just continue to affirm that we are soccer fans, but this is not a soccer podcast. But I just want to share this. Just want to show this picture real quick, because I think this is going to be very instructive. That young man standing next to me from 3 years ago is a young gentleman by the name of Taxiarchis Fountas. Taxi, we call him for short. That young man was a Greek. It was a striker for the club I support, DC United, and he was one of the best. He was our best player that year. He was one of our best. He was our best player that year, and he came to the club in 2020 or like late 2022. Really made a mark. He was let go. There was a really nasty situation in which the club listened to the worst possible people in the fan base, and unceremoniously not only let him go, they ousted him from the club for allegations of racial slurs. Now, I'm working on something to go into this a lot further. Taxi's a good man and certainly was not a racist. I say all that to bring this up. Taxi played for Trabzonspor over in Turkey for about a year or two, but then him and his family settled in Crete. Taxi's been playing for this club called Ofi out of Heraklion for the last couple of seasons. And Fountas and his crew just won the Greek Cup 2026. First trophy that Ofi has won in 39 years. First piece of hardware in nearly 4 decades for Ofi. I am quite proud of Taxi for this. I wanted to bring this up because that very night that I met him, he gave me this. You've seen this hanging in previous backgrounds on the show. Game-worn kit from 2023. Okay. I've never forgotten Taxi. I consider him a friend. And I just wanted to shout him out because and publicly congratulate that young man on a job well done and bringing Ofi their first piece of silverware in 40 years. Who God bless, no man curse. Proud of you, brother. And just wanted to do that for you this evening, Tax. I miss you, brother. I do. Can't wait to see you on this side of the pond, hopefully pretty soon. That's our show. We will not be on next week. We are Nino and I are actually going to be doing. We're going to a soccer match. We'll be doing our DCU in New York City 2026 big game on May 3rd between our two favorite Major League Soccer clubs, DC United and New York City FC. We're making a point. Okay. Yeah. Nino had to take care of something. But yeah, we will be. Matter of fact, I'll just go ahead and. I don't think he's coming back. He had to use the bathroom, but no, they. Yeah, next week we will be we'll be at Citi Field. So if you're in the New York City area and want to watch two teams go at it in the Eastern Conference, I think this will be a great game. And shout to Third Rail Bronx, the Third Rail supporter group for New York City FC. Fantastic group of people. I'm looking forward to a big game. Big game. Shout to Jackson Hopkins. Shout to Louis Montano. Got his first goal last night. Big game last night. We won 3-2 over Orlando City at home. Big +3 for the guys in black and red. And of course, shout to the whole whole DC United family down there. I love you guys. You all are incredible. That's our show tonight. See you on May 10th. Will be our next show. We'll have some stuff that we'll post to X and to our socials for that day. But thank you again for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. We love you all. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Make sure you turn on all of your notifications, and we will see you on